Hello, everyone. I hope you're all doing well, and it's great to see you all watching today. And welcome to the fourth episode of Digni's System Crash. Yes, we managed to get to 4 episodes before the Christmas break. Unfortunately, next week will be Christmas Eve on Wednesday, and the week after, it'll be New Year's Eve. So the next episode of this show will be in 2026. So welcome to Digni's last official show of the year, folks. 2025 has been a fantastic show fuck's sake. 2025 has been a fantastic year for myself, for the network, and hopefully for the rest of you too. We've got a stellar panel for today's show, a full house, and we've got 4 topics that we will hopefully cover in 2 hours. So please welcome our panel. Pew, 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 pew. There we go. There they all are. Good to see you guys. It's great to see everyone. I'm testing out this concept. It's called the dynamic panel, folks. And for those who are unfamiliar with the dynamic panel, because of the fact that StreamYard limits shows to 20 hours a month and panels of 6, I thought, what would be a great idea? Instead of paying a shitload of money to StreamYard for fuck all, I utilized the dynamic panel, which is to essentially shuffle guests and regulars like cards for the next 2 to 3 hours. I don't think we'll go to 3 hours because that's a bit of a marathon stream. Not the awful game Concord 2 or Concord 3, but actually a marathon, as in you keep doing this for a long time. But it is great to see everyone. Let's catch up with the panel before... No, chat. This is why I used to write everything down, because you can... It's easier to say... It's actually much easier because you can't see me, but it's much easier to write this down and say it than to think on your feet. But thank you all for getting us to 10 likes before the show started. That's a big milestone for a 200. It's 270 sub channel now. Hopefully we can get to 300 by the end of the year. Jesus, where did that come from?
My bad. Wrong button.
No, it's all right. It's perfectly fine. Yes, they are. They are rookie numbers, but I get nutty after streaming for too long. Does anyone remember Dustborn? But it's great to see the Common Nerd. Great to see DJ Ronnie G. Great to see Crowbar. And it's great to see an animation person. Are you one of Dash's people?
I've never seen her before.
She's one of mine.
Oh,
right, one of mine. She's one of my mods. We play Marvel Rivals sometimes.
Nice.
Good. Well, Glowy, that's what I'm calling you now. Glowy, like the FBI creatures. Glowy, go and check out Dash Attack's channel. I think you'll fit right in to that conglomerate of cartoons. It's great to see Saint Hugo. Great to see me, obviously. It's great to see Byron, and it's great to see myself again. And yeah, we've caught up with the chat. Great to see Helzo. I hope you're doing well, my good man. And it's great to know that over the past few months, the network has consolidated itself and cemented itself as part of Operation Hydra. I must say, folks, Operation Hydra has been a stellar success, and fingers crossed it will continue into 2026 and beyond. So on that note, if you haven't already, like the stream, share the stream. I would say donations are always welcome, but we're not monetized. Digni is predicted to be monetized by May of 2026 at the earliest, and I would like to get monetized. I would really like to get monetized for no reason at all on the 21st of May 2026 at approximately 4:30 UK time, and I will not elaborate as to why. So on that note, let's catch up with the panel, and we're going to start off with Dash, who will unfortunately only be with us for an hour unless someone else dips after the hour mark. Dash, how have you been?
I've been all right. Was watching Hypnotic last night, covering one of the topics we'll be talking about. But yeah, I find this one to be particularly interesting as someone who really liked Divinity Original Sin 2 before Baldur's Gate 3 was even a thing.
Good. I found out about the topic through you and Nure, so it's good to know that feminine personalities are recommending me topics.
Yeah.
Yes, I did. I did subtly call it queer, but on that note, look, Dash. If it was a choice between Nure and you, I'm gonna pick Nure. It's as simple as that.
Well, yeah. What are you talking about with a relationship?
No,
I'd
of
probably
course
pick
not.
her.
Not queer. See how he twists the conversation to be about his sexuality? He always does that. But
You know
what about you? What about you, Hugo? What are your how have you been?
Well, the Christmas break is finally reached, so especially today, my kids and I were all just doing as little as possible. That was quite nice for a change. I even dug up my old VR headset, played a bit of No Man's Sky with it. Got a headache, still enjoyed it though.
Yeah, I can't do VR.
Damn. Could you imagine a German Christmas, ladies and gentlemen? What's your gift? What's the gift for the German kiddo? Coal. And then he
Legos,
celebrates.
a bunch of Lego.
Oh, Lego too.
We have
Lego.
quite a lot here, and some
Mhm.
sets from Blue Bricks by now as well.
Oh. Well, that's what happens when you live so close to Denmark. But, folks, it only takes a few hours to go to Denmark, or in the Germans' case, take it over. How about you, Josh? How have you been since we last had a good talk?
I've been doing all right, Digni. I've been doing a lot of genre fiction reading, which tends to be my preferred method of taking in entertainment. Catching up on some of the comic books that I've been getting back into. Got myself an actual pull list with my local comic book shop, so now I just stop in like once a week, and he has my orders set and ready for me. I pay, I grab, shoot the shit a little bit, and then I'm out the door on my way to work usually.
I'm sorry, I'm under 30. What's a comic book?
You know very well what a comic book is. But other than that, also just kind of
It's like a manga, but written the right way.
slowly working on a kind of lengthy. I can't call it an essay because at this point I'm a little over 9,000 words in. It's going to end up being more of a kind of a white paper sort of thing, nonfiction for a change.
A nonfiction white paper. Folks, Josh is writing a piece of legislation for me. It's literally called Operation Hydra, folks.
Not exactly. Legislation is something that actually impacts people's lives. I'm just being a schizo. So.
Well, speaking of being schizophrenic, check out this picture. This is what happens when you watch too much Captain America all at once. Except the black one for obvious reasons. But what about you? Ronnie? How have you been?
I've been chilling, man. Just new week, new weekend for me. I'm a happy camper. Got my homeboy, my main man. Oh, he's not really a man, Reggie.
Hey,
Reggie,
everyone.
say hi.
Good to see you, Digni. Dash Attack.
Digni.
Welcome. Saint Earnal Race.
Sorry about that.
Hugo, Common Nerd. Joshua Calkins Treeworgy, and chat. Glad to be part of the panel.
He's trying.
Good to see.
How
Yes,
is it
it's all-
that Bach actually pronounced my name almost correctly, but my teachers growing up couldn't have a clue?
Painstaking
great to
training and 150 watts of electricity for like 3 hours.
Well, it's good. It is good to see Joshua Colgan's Tree Orgy. Yes, it's great to see you, Tree Orgy. The author Stephen Walton would love to talk to you, Tree Orgy, for obvious reasons.
Oh yeah.
True orgy.
Yeah, yeah. Stephen Walton's a tree shagger, but yeah. If you want to type in Digni correctly, right? You put in dig and then space and then knee, like
I
with
did that last
Kada,
week.
instead
Yeah.
of Kaida, right? You put K K-A-Y, and then space, duh, and then it'll spell K-duh, because The
It's a
AI
phonics
has
kid.
yeah. The AI needs to be directed like a parsnip because it has the brain of
Well,
one.
it's phonics makes the most sense if you're trying to pronounce a word that you don't understand. And the fact that we decided to teach kids sight words instead of phonics, you literally train your AI to read things via phonics, but we're gonna teach our kids this stupid retarded method. Okay.
I know, and that's why
Yeah.
we have the
Yeah.
common nerd here. We have the common nerd here today. How have you been since we last had a good talk?
Good. Busy. I do stuff 7 days. Oh, I put out content 7 days a week, so I am constantly busy. But yeah, things have been fun. Yesterday was my quote unquote Sabbath, which meant I spent like 12 hours working on a side project yesterday. So that a friend of mine and I are working on a side project, and I was spent about 12 hours yesterday on my day off from streaming doing that. Yesterday. So I've got a lot of fun stuff coming on. We've got a bunch of cool stuff going on. Having a great time watching doing a Firefly rewatch on Thursdays right now. That's an absolute blast. Classic Doctor Who on Sunday nights. We're having a good time. And hey, guess what? Secret Wars really is going to be Secret Wars, and they're killing the MCU and bringing all the guys back. So you know what? It's been kind of a fun week. It's been kind of a fun couple of weeks.
It is.
So, yeah.
And I think this image is a great example. Because, folks, I know you can't see it from here, but the AI spelt budget cuts correctly, which means
it did.
which means it was probably made in Tel Aviv. But it is. What was that, Ronnie?
No, I just said, well, I'm surprised. It's not common to see that. See AI spelling words correctly in pictures. Yeah.
No. This was made by YouTube. We'll get to that with the third topic. It's a damn shame that the Dash won't be here for that unless someone else can't be on for over an hour. But for now, we'll just stick with classic red, white, and blue Digni. There we go, folks. But we appreciate everyone for being here, and fingers crossed, everyone will have a fantastic show today. I know this channel isn't. In fact, this channel is one of the smallest channels within the network. But fingers crossed, we will be able to keep up with the best of them in terms of viewership, watch time, and likes. So like the stream, share the stream, keep your donations until May of next year. So on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I need a pen and I don't have one. So that's very annoying. So I will have to remember the timestamp, which
Use your
is
notes on your phone.
I don't have one. 12
Here you
minutes and 50 seconds. Well, the world doesn't work that way, Ronnie. I wish it did. But if that
Yeah,
were the
it's
case, then British problems would be American ones. But the first topic for today's show, folks, the first topic for today's show is in regards to Larian's AI controversy as Journos turn hostile. Now, it was Dash that recommended this topic to us, so I'm going to let him provide appropriate context while I find a pen, write down the timestamp, then share my screen, then find an example, and then give my thoughts and then panel perspective. Dash, that will take about a few minutes. Can you talk for that long?
Oh, I got stuff right here.
Oh, good. That's even better then, so you can talk and show stuff at once.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so I think we can get it from the Larian CEO himself after he was bombarded. So he did an interview talking about the new game that got revealed at the Game Awards, which was the source of that creepy satanic statue. So he said that he was asked specifically about AI, and he basically said that they are using it not for concept art or anything, but mostly for the brainstorming process. And of course, that context did not matter. They got bombarded. Oh, they're using AI. They're replacing all the jobs. Oh, blah.
Good.
And then,
It's getting to that point. Good. Okay. And I'm of the view that it's coming to a stage, folks, where artificial intelligence is absolutely everywhere. Okay. It's in videos, it's in shows, it's in everything, whether you like it or not. I can tell you for a fact that my profile, what you're seeing here, is not AI generated. I just nicked photographs from pics and pieces. Yeah, pics and pieces, not bits and pieces, folks, because I don't seem to know how to speak today. But from bits and pieces. My body, for example, is Santa Claus painted gray. My hat came from Top Hat PNG. And my Israeli variant, I just used reused assets of a kipper and an Israeli flag. And that's the only difference between the Israeli variant and Digni and the base standard. See, look, I mentioned Jews and the German starts coughing. And that's the only difference, right? But courtesy of Sven Winkel at Where.
Yeah, he's the CEO of Larian.
That's guys, don't you find this Twitter X name to be very interesting? But quote, holy fuck, guys, we're not pushing hard for or replacing concept artists with AI. We have a team of 72 artists, of which 23 are concept artists, and we are hiring more. The art they create is original. I'm proud of what they do. I was asked explicitly about concept art and our use of generative artificial intelligence. I answered that we use it to explore things. I didn't say we use it to develop concept art. The artists do that, and they are indeed world-class artists. The same artists who created art of a bear fucking a human being. We use AI tools to explore references. We're using Google and art books. At the very early, what the fuck is that word?
I didn't pronounce it either. I just did my video and I could not pronounce that word either.
Ideation.
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 Ideation. He's right.
Is that idea and radiation smashed together? Fucking ridiculous. At the very early iteration of said stages. How about that, you fucking cunt?
What about conception?
We use it as a rough out. This is supposed to be a quote. As we use it as a rough outline for composition, which we replace with original concept art. There is no comparison. I talked about how we use whatever ML is here. If you would like to know more, what is the Starship Troopers? We've hired creatives for their talent, not for their ability to do what a machine suggests, but they can experiment with these tools to make their lives easier. Purple alien elf creature.
Yeah, that's a drought.
Because some people who watch this show are literally blind. And, Asmongold gave his response, and I think perspective is very important. And Elon gave his response, which was a bit weird. But Asmongold, the Cockroach King, made it clear, quote, AI informing development of games and media is the future. No amount of downvotes, likes, or social media posts is going to change that. Do you know what will change it, Zach? If people support humanity first games and reject the regime.
It's never going.
This isn't the fucking DCU. If they reject the machine, not the regime. You can tell I've been watching Injustice videos. The only reason AI is seen negatively online is that artists and media have manufactured fake consensus that it's bad to protect their jobs. Well, that's one narrative. It's not the one I share. But thank you for this perspective, Dash. It's really good to have these sources to flesh out a topic. And now it's time for some panel perspectives on this whole situation. I'm going to start off with the happiest German alive, Saint Hugo. What do you make of all this, my good man?
All the negative perception from...
I'm sorry, what? What did you say?
All the negative perception.
Oh, that's what you said. Oh. Please continue.
So, all this whining comes from people who ignored RTFM in the 90s. So let's just go with computers are evil spirits, go back to into a cave. For those wannabe artists and hack writers, journals, it's a tool. You can either pierce your own hand with a tool, or you can use it properly. And I run a lot of AI, and I do so with my own hardware. For those who may have looked into this, the name Comfy UI might ring a bell. There you have quite a lot of more options, and all these tools enable me to scale up the projects I'm working on, because with a little spare time I have, with kids and all, and the fact that I'm doing a one-person project on a zero budget, yes, I welcome those tools. And shitty artists can go and paint walls. And as it goes for the Journos, I bet there is some place beneath a bridge with a burning trash pile somewhere to keep them warm.
And soon that'll be everyone. But no, in all seriousness, Hugo, I understand your personal perspective in regards to the projects that you want done, and artificial intelligence, large language models, helping you to automate the process will ensure that the project stands a far better chance of getting through, of actually coming to life.
I've been modding games since the 90s, and designing a couch, for example, for Half-Life 1 without textures took me like 3 hours until I was satisfied. And even if I do pixel art these days for Stardew Valley, for example, so a handful of square pixels, everything takes up enormous amounts of times. And from my perspective, if I could afford to hire an artist, it would be the same from my point of view. I would give a person a prompt and hope for the best. Just with more waiting and a lot more money involved, and possibly worse results.
Well, just look at Ubisoft if you want to throw more money at a problem. Have you guys heard of Skull and Bones? But thank you for that perspective, Hugo. We appreciate it. What about you, Byron? What do you make of this whole situation? Byron.
Sorry. Just trying to get the microphone to come on. Vinky was reported to have said that the studio, yes, is using generative AI to automate, to quote him, prototyping tasks, such as creating mock levels in games that will be replaced with hand-drawn or hand-created, human-created levels for later on. Bloomberg's Jason Schreier, who has his own history of kind of downplaying fan or player concerns. So take anything he would say or report with a heavy grain of salt. But his reporting said that the AI tools were being used, as you quoted this CEO saying that they're using it to explore ideas, to flesh out PowerPoints, and develop, quote him, to develop concept art. I don't know if that was a slip of the tongue on Venky's part, or if he used the wrong phrasing. He said, we're using it to write placeholder text on screen or in menus and what have you. My concern there is that if you understand the artistic creative process at all, then you know damn well that there are certain elements of early stage development and work elements that will end up finding their way into the final product, no matter what you do to try to avoid that. And when you have many hands working on one product, as you do in any video game production, it's all but guaranteed that some slack-ass, lazy person on the team is going to click accept and end up dropping some AI-generated parts.
What's that?
The final product that ends up in gamers' hands. So it's unavoidable that that's going to happen. I also like to briefly kind of highlight, I saw on X that Dash had an interaction with a user, Valophone, on X/Twitter. I thought it was great. example of a nuanced conversation between the two of them regarding?
I didn't actually respond or get a reply from him. I just found his post and agreed with it.
Right. It's an example of there is some nuance regarding this subject. It's not all one way or the other. But I did want to point out that this Valophone person seems to be naively overlooking the fact that there are going to be lazy gits at Larian Studios who are going to just say, you know what, no one's looking too closely at the work that I'm putting in here or my specific input. I'm just going to click accept on some slop that got pushed to me by clicking a few prompts and hitting enter, and that'll end up in the final product. Now, while I would agree that it is inevitable that some of these things are going to end up in your end result, it's not all necessarily bad. Hugo said it perfectly that this is AI art generation is much like a scalpel. If used properly and with care and attention, you can perform wonderful things. But if you abuse it, you're going to cut yourself to ribbons.
I agree.
Well said. And it was good to see Dash responding to a Canadian-Filipino boy failure, whatever the fuck that is.
I had to actually look that one up myself.
Now, I am going to have to go off camera here shortly because I'm going on my way to work here soon. Yep. But I'll be listening in and chiming in where I can.
Sure. You see, folks, Byron literally goes to work as he's on a live stream. He has the best mobile setup I've ever seen. Okay, folks? And I want to make it clear before we get Ronnie and the Common Nerds perspective. Dash, what's a boy failure?
I have no clue. I looked it up. Boy failure. I guess like someone who is, it says like, according to Google, it's a fandom slang for a male fictional character who is endearingly pathetic, clumsy, or inept. So it's an anime trope.
Well, that's what happens when you combine Canadian with Thai. A literal boy failure. So yeah. What about you, Ronnie? What do you make of this whole situation? You have a clanker right behind you.
Well, you know, like on the surface, it's a tool, and I've certainly seen no shortage of AI content. I mean, like, you know, as someone who's an avid, like, I guess, self-taught historian, or I don't know, I read books about World War II and the Pacific Theater lately. I've seen a lot of, like, just 2025 alone, like people who train new models, sometimes they have to literally exclude stuff from 2025 or later or 2022 because that's when you started seeing AI stuff on the net. So you don't want your models trained on AI generated content. But on the surface, it's a reasonable take. Like, you know, it's just a tool, and, you know, it is handy for pre-production. I remember one writer was talking about how he would write his stories, but he wanted to create a scene surrounding that particular, you know, area. So he would write about the guy at the stall who's selling, you know, widgets, and he'd write about the lady over there who's arguing with the blind guy. Or I'm now making up weird things, but you get my drift. And he would use AI to generate those little short stories in that scene to help hash it out in his head. But you know, I was thinking about creating an AI slop channel just for kicks, like have Reggie just, you know, go over the top, you know, like just shameless AI slop. But in my case, it would be, you know, like on purpose and poking fun at it. But bottom line is, in the context of game dev, I'm certainly concerned that they're gonna, you know, it's like these short-term gains versus long-term, whatever the term is. Like, yeah, that's like typical, right? And, you know, cut staff, do anything to as a force multiplier. But they're really, it's like the same thing as when we see overuse of the just-in-time supply chain. It was a great idea from the Japanese, but you take it too far, you let some idiot in management, like, you know, make decisions based on that, and before you know it, you got no toilet paper.
Can I give my perspective? Because
I thought you already did.
No, I just introduced the topic.
Okay, go on.
Yeah, so my perspective is that what they're doing is fine, and it's like, you know, completely different than what like Xbox wants to do with AI, where like they literally want AI to make the games. Like you're literally talking about like a fantasy game that requires a lot of planning, a lot of world building, you know, with a pre-established setting. And like, you know, you need concept art and art direction. And yeah, so like you have to like get ideas, and like basically like they're using AI like ethically. Like they're not using it to make pre-generated slop and just throwing in whatever it generates. Like they have to actually like approve of something. And
Avowed was a great game, Dash. I don't know what you're talking about. Outer Worlds 2 is a great game. Doom the Dark Ages was a great game. All these great Xbox games, man. And AI will just make them greater and better.
I'm pretty sure some of them were probably made with AI.
Especially Avowed. Hey, look, I played Avowed and I enjoyed it for what it is. But after that city burnt to the ground, and there's some secret way of saving the city, but you still got to leave. After the city burned to the ground, I'm like, nah, I don't want to play this game anymore. But yeah, it's very interesting. All these different companies taking different perspectives. Great to see Triton in the chat. Great to see everyone in the chat. If you haven't already, like the stream, share the stream. Everyone's support is appreciated. Well, what about you, Common Nerd? What do you make of this whole situation to wrap this topic up?
Yeah. You're asking me to wrap something up?
Yep.
I got 6 kids, motherfucker. First off, let's be completely and totally honest about what all of this really boils down to, this backlash against AI. Okay, there's 2 things. The big thing that I think a lot of people don't understand is this is about control, right? AI decentralizes the creative process, right? AI with the capabilities they have now, right, decentralizes the movie making process, decentralizes the video game making process, decentralizes the creative process in general. You are no longer beholden to Hollywood. You are no longer beholden to AAA gaming studios. You are no longer beholden to some asshole artist out there who is going to ghost you and take your money and you never get anything in return. I know. I used to interview a lot of comic book artists, a lot of independent comic book creatives, right? You're not going to have any of that anymore. It's all gone, which means all of these journos, all of these little activists out there that have seeded their ways into control of AAA gaming and Hollywood and journalism are now about to lose their power. Expedition 33 just proved that. Expedition 33 became Game of the Year, sold so many copies, like 35 million copies. The game cost less than $10 million for them to make. They flat out admit they utilized AI in creating their game 100%. They absolutely did. And guess what? That everybody loves that damn game. Absolutely everybody had a blast with it and enjoyed it, because this is one of the misunderstandings about utilizing AI. Okay, any actual creative that wants to use AI is going to lose their damn mind at some point, right? Because that thing, it's not some magical little bullet that you can throw in there and go, hey, do this, and it gives you some quality AAA level looking thing. That is not how it works. The reason why everybody complains about AI slop is because the people that are worried they're going to lose their jobs, it's because all you can create is slop, right? Because at the end of the day, yeah, you can go over to ChatGPT, or you can go over to Sora, or you can go over to Grok and throw something in, or Sona. Sona is probably one of the biggest ones. That's the easiest to utilize, right? And you can go in there and you can type in a few types of lines, and it'll pop you out something that'll look halfway decent, and you can move on with your life. Absolutely. But if you're an artist or if you're a creative at all, that's never going to satisfy you, right? But if you want something quick and easy, sure, why not? So you know who's really screaming and crying about this? It's all of the third-rate and honestly second-rate artists out there. The people who only jobs they get are layouts for things like pamphlets and all of that kind of stuff. People that draw art for business buildings walls, right? Oh, those inspirational posters. I drew that art.
The corpo art.
Those are the people. Huh?
The corpo art, like, you know, those like
little corporate art.
Corporate Memphis. Art. They literally call it corporate Memphis. It's like that unemotional, completely unoffensive, completely dull looking crap. Yep.
Right. Those are the artists that are going to get replaced, because guess what? just like the average buggy maker screamed his head off and probably hated Henry Ford's guts until the day he died, right? Guess what? Buggy makers still exist, right? Just like traditional artists who hand paint and hand draw things exist. Well, all the artists screaming and crying about AI. When was the last time you hand drew or hand painted a page? When was the last time it wasn't digital art that you created for your comic book? Oh, good job. You hand drew it. Did you hand paint it? No, you used your little fancy electronic pen, right? Which can correct your lines and make it to where you can erase stuff and give you a perfect curve or a perfect straight line without having to hand draw it. Oh, I'm sure none of them are using that, right? Or, well, guess what? Now you just click a little pen right here and you go fill in that color with that hole, right? This is just the next stage of evolution of that. And guess what? If you're creative with a good idea, or if you're an artist that is the best of the best, guess what? You're still going to have a job in the future. Just like all these musicians that are crying and whining now, AI is going to take your job. You know what? You know who's still got a horse and buggy? You know who still buys those? The rich, the elite, or the Amish, right? You think there aren't still going to be jobs? You don't think there are still going to be people who are willing to pay for hand-drawn, hand-painted art? Or to go see a live orchestra that are the best of the best? Of course there will be. As long as elites and rich people exist, there are always going to be people that are going to be willing to pay for that handcrafted thing. I was in the CBD business for years. People would pay more money, although I never charged them. People would pay more money for my handcrafted CBD products than they would the crap that came out of a giant mass manufacturing plant. People would come to me specifically because I made it by hand and made it by myself, right? Oh. Those people will always exist. Those jobs will always exist. The problem is it will only be the best of the best that survive. And that's why you see so many people screaming and crying and whining about it. It's they are going to lose control of the narrative and what becomes the number one story, the number one television show, the number one song, or the number one video game. You ain't got to go to Microsoft or Sony anymore. You can do it your damn self. You ain't got to go to Hollywood anymore to make a movie or a television show or a comic book. Right? You've got Eric July doing all that stuff independently on his own. Is he using AI? No, he's actually hiring artists because the guy's got the money to do it. But for the rest of us out there who are poor or don't have $100,000 sitting in the bank to start a comic book company or to create one comic book and hiring all these artists, guess what? You get to tell your story now too. And your story will probably rival what Hollywood has done and produced for the last 10 to 20 years. You know what? Everybody's like, oh my God, I can't believe Disney's allowing everybody to use their characters for this stuff and they're investing money in Sora. Oh my God. Disney's just going to use it as laziness, as an excuse to put stuff on Disney Plus that they don't have to generate. You're damn right they will. And I'm here for it. You want to know why? Because this is what's going to happen. Just like my chat has proven time and time again, fans will make better stories than anybody in Hollywood has for the last 20 years. And you know what's going to happen with Disney allowing Sora to use all of their characters? They're going to have a story. They're going to have a 20, 30-minute story or an episode that's going to go viral. And it is going to do better and get more exposure. And every single fan is going to say that this is better than anything Disney has produced in the last 20 years. And you're right. Bob Iger's probably going to hire that guy and take him out of the independent sphere. But you know what? That's great for everybody because that embarrasses Bob Iger, Kevin Feige, Kathleen Kennedy, and the rest of those cocksuckers in Hollywood out there who decided that they were the gatekeepers on storytelling. And whether or not they'll ever admit it fucking publicly or not doesn't matter because guess what? Bob Iger, when he's sitting there in his office all alone, is going to know how much of a failure he is because some asshole in his mom's basement made a better Pixar story than him or his billions of dollars could have ever dreamed of. And trust me, that is one of the many reasons why I love the access to AI. And guess what? Cry and whine about it all you want. The genie's out of the bottle. You either jump on board and figure out how to use it and become better and faster as a creative, or guess what? You're going to be just like the olden days buggy maker. And those average guys out there don't exist anymore. The best will succeed and everybody else will get forgotten about it. And that's just the way of the future.
Can I buy you a beer? Cheers to that.
Well, I'll tell you this.
You can become a member on my channel. I'm trying to get to 100 by the end of December so I can keep doing this full time. Thank you, though, saying, here you go. I appreciate that, brother.
and that's why we appreciate the passion and the time of the common nerd. I mean, fundamentally, I can only speak for myself, but I've been doing this now for the past 2021 wasn't a full year, but I've been doing this for the past 4 years. 2026 will be my 5th year, but my 4th full year. I haven't fundamentally changed. I'm the exception to the rule. Most creators have to develop and change and improve in order to carve out a niche in this space and spaces just like it. And I think the technology we are seeing here only proves that these mega companies need to be custodians. They don't. Disney is. If Disney were a person, it'd be dead. Okay, because an entity that old can only really survive as a custodian of what was. It's like an old man in their 60s or 70s, right? They're famous for doing something that when they were much younger, you don't expect them to do it at their best right here, right now. And same applies to Disney. Now, for a company like, say, for example, Netflix, which ties into our next topic, this is a company that made a name for itself mainly as a result of this existing company laughed at us when we wanted their help. So as a result, we're going to go on a revenge tour to burn everything physical to the ground.
All right, thanks. Digni, that actually piggybacks off of one more point I was going to make as soon as my baby leaves my face. Because that was the other thing too about this. All these artists and journalists and everybody else that want to scream and cry about this, guess what? You can't blame the people using the AI to generate these things, because guess what? None of us would be doing it if AAA gaming and Hollywood was still giving us good games and stories.
True.
The Larian Expeditions 33's studio would not exist if they could still make the games they wanted in the AAA studios, but they can't anymore. So the spirit of the age is to blame for all of this. And every one of these asshats has supported that full cloth. You created crappy stories, turned off all of the audiences because they don't trust any of your shit anymore. And those with a little bit of talent decide to go out there and do it themselves. And now you're all losing your jobs. Nobody would care about AI making these things or being able to do this stuff if the mass population was still focused on the great stories that they were creating or the great games that they were creating.
Yeah, can I interject?
You wouldn't have. They created their own enemies by doing this, because now we're going to go out there and make our own video games. We're going to go out there and make their own stories, and we're going to replace them. They literally, their revolution caused their own demise.
I just want to point out that Larian is a private company. Like, they are completely controlled by like a husband and wife. See, like that. Yeah. So like they are protected. They get everything, including the bear sex, was stuff like they wanted to put into that game.
Well, do you know who else is going to put bear sex into their intellectual properties? Netflix. Because they want to buy Warner Brothers, right? They want to do battle with Paramount, who, in an alliance with Skydance, want to also buy Warner Brothers. And it just raises the question, while the independents, whether they're big or small, usher in a new creative age using the power of artificial intelligence and large language models and other systems, these big companies are trying to eat each other, literally, and will do pitch battle with one another in these massive bidding wars. I've said it before and I'll say it again. For goodness sake, Warner Brothers is not worth $80 billion. It's not worth $100 billion, right? It's not even worth 50 billion. This is a series of franchises under a conglomerate, which is as inconsistent as a bipolar patient. It is getting that bad over at Warner Brothers, but these companies are desperate to swallow up as many franchises as possible. And, Warner Brothers has a lot of potential. Okay. That's why they're always like, oh, I want to sell out. I want to sell out. How much do you want to sell out for? $100 billion. They're that kind of company, right? They will sell out, but they'll bankrupt you to sell themselves out. And that is a very, very big problem. I mean, some people think that the Netflix deal is already done. There are those who think Paramount will engage in a hostile takeover. I'm personally of the view, guys, that this won't be legally possible because of the, I think it's the antitrust laws in the United States that prevent monopolization, because then Netflix will become an even more massive entity than they are today with Warner Brothers. Dash, what do you make of all this?
The Warner Brothers thing?
Yeah.
I don't know. I was kind of like interested possibly with Netflix, but they really have like almost as bad a track record as Warner themselves when it comes to releases and their treatment of IPs. So I'm thinking like, maybe root for Skydance, root for Paramount, but it's kind of hard to say who's going to like screw the pooch less than what Warner has already done. I'm trying to figure out, like, I think what really ultimately got me on Paramount's side was Netflix's like basically saying that movie theaters are irrelevant. And, I hate the fact that almost all the small theaters in my area have closed, and that I have to like drive all the way to AMC to pay $20 just to go see a damn movie.
Well, I would like to correct you there, Dash. Netflix's number one mission is the destruction of physical media. Right? That has been their ultimate aim. And not many people realize this, right? But ever since Netflix approached Blockbuster and they didn't get rejected, folks. They got laughed at. They got laughed out of the building, which is why their core aim is to essentially wipe out all traces of physical media. Because, yes, it's a revenge plot, folks, like Kill Bill or something like that. They hate everything that Blockbuster represents in Netflix, and they will do anything to wipe out the genre that ensured its victory. But I found this post funny. The obvious solution here is to let both Netflix and Paramount have one Warner Brother each. Because it's called Warner Brothers. But apparently this was December 8th. Paramount launched a hostile takeover bid for Warner Brothers Discovery. Even Warner Brothers is a bloody merger between something. What are they going to call Paramount? Paramount, Warner, Discovery, Skydance. It's getting ridiculous at this point, folks. But I'm just going down to get some context for these situations. That's a very interesting thumbnail, isn't it? That looks like every other thumbnail we've seen throughout the pop culture content creation community, which is why, folks.
I resent that.
I know, but I was around as an active viewer back then as well, and I came up as a content creator not once but twice, and it's like at some point you got to shake up your thumbnails. Do you know what's the in vogue thing to do now, Common Nerd? The in vogue thing to do now is to have like a crazy set of pictures and then words at the bottom of your screen for some reason. I have no idea why. But
for me, it's always a competition for space.
Well, here's a piece of advice for you, Dash. Big words on the left, big picture related to words on the right, and then put exposed in your title.
Yeah.
You see me do this all the time. It's exposed, explored, showcased, fraud, liar, cheat, pimp,
100%.
all sorts of things. Oh, apparently Oh, an ad for Pal World. That's interesting.
Nice.
Yeah, new
Pal
update.
World, Pal World X Ultra Kill. Well, that's very interesting,
Dope.
isn't it?
That
But
explains why my
I
friends
would
are jumping back into Power World.
I think it'd be very interesting to get the panel's perspective on all this, because Warner Brothers has fantastic potential, but it's going to be a toss-up between three potential scenarios. A, Netflix swallows it whole. B, Paramount's hostile takeover is successful. Or 3, for the infinite time in its existence, Warner Brothers doesn't get sold, because they're always like, oh, we want to sell, we want to sell, we want to sell. And either no one buys them, or if someone buys them, antitrust laws come into effect, which means they can't be bought. So, do we get Dash's perspective?
Yes, you got me already.
There we go. So, Hugo, what do you make of all of this?
Well, on the one hand, from the normie point of view, having more in the Netflix library is consumer friendly from that perspective, without subscribing to a bunch of services. And yeah, that's the majority of people out there. But the anti-physical stance of Netflix and the implications is what, yeah, that's the problem I have with that.
Yeah, that's
So if
the
Netflix
ultimate.
would start to produce and sell, so all right, we wiped out, we had our revenge and so on. We own most of the relevant IPs. Now we start selling DVDs, Blu-rays, and whatnot. I'd be way more inclined to say, all right, we give it a shot. But I don't see that coming. And from the perspective of someone who considers an SQL injection a neat party trick, well, they can snuff out physical.
Well, consider this, Hugo. Netflix accumulated in 25 years what took Disney 100 years to accomplish.
Disney can rot for all I care.
Yes. But think about this, Hugo. Based on that trajectory, in 75 years' time, Netflix will be quadruple the market value of Disney. And under such a scenario, because it would literally take 100 years of consistent losses for Disney to fully collapse. So if in 75 years Netflix quadruples their value and output, it will take them 400 years of consistent losses. Right. And I'm talking billions a year. I'm talking
nothing
billions
lasts
of
forever. And at some point, Netflix too will become lazy and less hungry. And then the next pissed off startup company will come and take their business over. Or several.
You know the greatest irony, Hugo? Netflix operates like the network, or in all honesty, the network operates like the Netflix. It's why our logo is a big white N, because 90% of what Netflix does is outsourced. They're already, in fact, they've always been fucking lazy, because the vast majority of their product, quote unquote, isn't theirs. It's a glorified licensing brand.
Yeah, like the best stuff is not made by Netflix. It's licensed, and the exclusivity rights are bought by them. Like
That's
a lot
one
of
of
the
the reasons.
anime, a lot of the anime, the Korean shows, like that's.
And that's one of the reasons, Dash, the market value of Netflix matched Disney at a quarter of the time frame, because Netflix, and this is what I've learned from Netflix, right? They were the great inspiration behind the network, is that more can be done through people and organizations using each of their best attributes than just one person or group or company trying to do the best they can in all attributes. That's where Netflix has succeeded tremendously in a way that none of its competitors ever have, because almost all of its competitors have built themselves from themselves. Disney, Warner Brothers, Paramount, the lot of them, Microsoft, Google, they all have a core foundation that made them who they are. for Netflix, the only equivalent is streaming services, digital media. That is their core of who they are. That's why they have a vested interest in annihilating physical media, because if they allow it to thrive, it means their potential death. And I think we can all agree you're never going to support an entity that supports your demise. Okay, that's common sense. But what about you, Josh? What do you make of all of this from what you've seen and heard so far?
For starters, yes, you got near the end there to the essence or nature of what Netflix was to begin with. It was a distribution service of shows and movies created from other entities and studios and outfits. Dash mentions anime that shows up on Netflix. It's actually licensed. The first major hit they had as a homegrown animation product was BoJack Horseman, which was a program created by a much smaller Korean studio, and that ultimately got bought out by another studio. And when that new ownership came in and said, Netflix will continue to make more programs for you, including Toka and Birdie, but you're going to pay a higher premium in order to distribute the show, Netflix said, no deal. And they ended up canceling season 2 of Toka and Birdie. They quick wrapped BoJack Horseman, which was supposed to apparently have another 2 seasons, but they cut that short because they couldn't afford the additional fee. Netflix getting hold of Warner Brothers, though, as a lot of people have pointed out, it could spell a signal for the death knell of movie theaters. But there is a potential upside that I could see if Netflix were to get a hold of the Warner Brothers, is because of DC Comics and animation. Because I genuinely thought that the Netflix Marvel shows, before Disney clamped down the iron gates on that, with the exceptions of Punisher Season 2 and Iron Fist Season 2, were actually pretty damn good. I loved Daredevil and Jessica Jones. I thought they were incredibly well done character studies of street-level heroes. And I'll defend that to the wall and back. I enjoyed Season 1 of Punisher. I thought all 3 seasons of Daredevil and Jessica Jones were expertly done. But as soon as Disney said, no, we're bringing this back in-house, you're done, they ripped it all away from Netflix. What they had done up to that point was actually pretty well put together. Luke Cage was a decent program. The first season of Iron Fist, had its ups and downs. But then The Defenders was a great collaborative project show with a single...
Well, Josh, I'd just like to point out that the core of Netflix's success is in large part the inspiration for the current success of the network. You've got the central hub, which is Netflix itself, and you've got all these, peripheries that aid Netflix, and Netflix aids them in a very similar way to how this network operates.
It was originally very symbiotic, but then Netflix wanted to start producing their own original content in-house in order to say, look, we've used the money and the gains and popularity we've got from distributing other people's and other studios' original creations and ideas. They use that as a funding source to produce their own content, starting with their much ballyhooed and celebrated Stranger Things and onward from there. Paramount certainly has the animation muscle, though. Given Skydance's pedigree, a lot of the animators and teams of animation studios within Skydance's framework, a lot of those folks came from Disney and Pixar because those people got the boot or they left because they weren't willing to be in line with current thing or modern audience.
They got canceled like John Lasseter.
Yes, Lasseter is the big one that comes to mind when thinking of, he is one of the heads of Skydance. So in terms of Warner Brothers animation and DC animated movies and specials, I think they've always been vastly superior to the live action DC productions. You wouldn't have Justice League Dark if it wasn't an animated product, and it was actually pretty decent. They got John Constantine pretty down pat. I was impressed with their willingness to actually have him be a douchebag, which, if you've ever read the Hellblazer comics, Constantine's a fascinating character, but he is a bag of dicks. And that comes across in the animated DC productions far better than anything in live action. In that regard, I would lean more towards wanting to see Paramount get their hands on Warner Brothers just to see what they could do with DC.
Mm-hmm. Well, I honestly think, folks, that Warner Brothers will not be sold because of antitrust lawsuits, for lack of a better term. But Jose is here. I'm surprised that he's here, which means we're going to have to flex our dynamic panel muscles. Josh, I know you're in the process of going to work.
Yes,
so...
I was going to say, if you really do want to make some room for Jose, now would be a perfect time for me to give a quick send-off.
Okay. Sure,
all right.
Sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for having me here on the program. Common Nerd, I've been in your chat quite a few times on your show. It's good to see you here with us today. Excellent to see you. Ronnie G, good to see you back with your robot friend. Dash, always a pleasure to talk to you there, brother.
Absolutely.
St. Hugo, I'm not as familiar with you yet as perhaps I should be, but perhaps in the future I can get to know you a bit better there, brother. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you from the Storyteller's Corner. Take care.
You
Bye
too.
for now, folks.
Bye.
Bye for now. All right, then. There we go. Now we can add Jose. Now we're still
Have a
waiting
good day
on
at work, Byron.
I know.
Earn that
Jose has
money.
like
I need more of it myself.
Jose has like 3 jobs. So
3 jobs and I'm still poor.
My God.
You've
And
got
still
to take,
fat.
you've got to take more tips from the Common Nerd, because he has how to do this for a living. 50-hour shows, but no. In all seriousness, we're still waiting on Triton to pop in. The original plan was to trade in Dash for Triton, because the third topic is going to be crazy not confidential, crazy controversial, and Dash
might
Friday
conflict with
show.
my brand. Might
yeah,
conflict with my brand.
Oh boy,
It doesn't. But if it's getting late for anyone, then I can understand if you need to pop out.
Come on, what's more controversial than Dash attacks bulges?
Well, we still have to finish this topic. We like to keep it at 2 hours, but it might get a little longer than that. But Ronnie, what do you make of the battle between Netflix and Paramount for control of Warner Brothers?
I hardly use Netflix, but one of the things that I liked a lot that some didn't like was when they released Knights of Sidonia no Kishi. This Japanese anime right here started as a manga by Tetsuo Nihei, I believe that's how you pronounce his name. And I just like it because you have a freaking generational ship covered in ice with a resource mineral asteroid attached to it, and I like it because it's kind of grounded, not completely. But that being said, I'm pretty low on Netflix exposure. Like, I saw, I'm out of the loop, to be honest, my friend.
Okay,
and that's because I expect them to release the same mainstream shit I don't like anyway. So that's why I'm not super plugged into it, to be honest.
I barely have used Netflix historically. I'm not a fan of digital media, which is very ironic considering this is a digital live stream. But I'm a fan of content creators using digital media, because the cost of physical media is exorbitant for us. Okay, folks? It's not as if we can record this show and put it in videotapes and sell it to people internationally.
I got a Blu-ray burner. You want to sell Blu-rays?
You guys aren't excited for the Queen of Coal to canonically join the DC Comics universe?
Oh my God.
That's a crossover.
Oh
man.
Now
we
there's
get
one
Pascal
creature.
Green Lantern, and then we could have a sibling crossover.
That's one creature I want Superman to give the Shazam treatment to. But Jose, since you're here, why don't you tell us what you make of the struggle between Netflix and Warner Brothers, not Warner Brothers, and Paramount for control of Warner Brothers before the Common Nerd ties this topic in a bow?
It's kind of like having an alcoholic and a crackhead arguing for custody of their kid. Either way, the kid's kind of screwed. But, I think at this point, unfortunately, there's not a whole lot that's going to stop inevitably Netflix from being successful in acquiring DC. I believe that's bad, or Warner Brothers, rather. Sometimes I get the whole thing mixed up, but, that's sort of where my mindset is it'll be the death knell for comic books, at least DC Comics, both as a comic book industry and as far as their IPs and franchises are concerned. If you have unfettered sort of power for Netflix to do whatever they want, Netflix is adamant about the fact that they are never going to change course. They are never going to course correct. They are going to try to ride the storm out, waiting for the political wave, the winds to shift in their favor so that they could bring back all of the crap that we've been fighting against for the better part of a decade. And that's what's going to happen. They're going to double down. If you think right now, when they've got comic books out there with obese Starfire's daughter and all this nonsense, that they have that now. Just wait until Netflix gets a hold of them, which Netflix, again, reminder, Netflix has a heavy investment by the Obama family into their business. That's why everything ends up being so political that Netflix puts out. And they don't give a damn what happens to any of us. They hate us. They hate the chuds, so to speak. And it's going to be a net negative for all of us. I mean, when we say, well, a lot of people said woke is dead, and Netflix is like, hold my soy latte, we're coming back with a vengeance. That's going to be bad for all of us. This fight is far from done. That's why I told people months ago, do not rest on your laurels. Do not just do a celebration that woke is dead. Everything is a cycle. They will try to strike back at us. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Well, the when is here now.
All righty then. Well, thank you for that, Jose. And now, before Triton pops in, we'll have the common nerd tie this topic in a bow, and then I'll decide whether it's Dash or Hugo that gets. I'm thinking about it at the moment. Go ahead.
Flip a coin. Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, this is something that I have covered extensively on my channel. I am a DC fanboy. I have said this many a times, over and over and over again. I cut my teeth on content creation with a lot of the Henry Cavill leaks and stuff like that. I am a rumor mill source. I'm a rumor mill content creator on a lot of things, but a lot of the stuff is factual. And guess what? We've got a proven track record from the rumor mill sources that I use to show things that how they turn out to end up being. But what it ends up coming down to is I'm a DC fanboy first, right? So that's my big concentration. And whether you want to talk about what everything else that Warner Brothers owns and have access to and the rights, yada, yada, nothing else matters. Okay. Honestly, nothing else actually matters. DC is the crown jewel for Warner Brothers. It has the biggest extent of library of content. It has the biggest extent of characters that you can pull from and storylines that you can pull from, bar none. Their movie and television show library is a drop in the bucket compared to what DC has the rights to. Okay, first off, so that's my big concern going into this whole situation. Couple of things on top of all of this. I have picked a side, and I picked a side right from the get-go on this one, because Paramount or Skydance, is that even a choice? Like, are you serious? Like, you've got the guys who it's a brand new company. It's brand new bosses. It's got the guys from Skydance that have created some incredible things. Thank you for mentioning the Lassiter thing earlier. I'd completely forgotten that Lassiter is part of that, right? You don't think he's like grinding, just waiting to get his chance at some of these characters to show Disney what he can do after what they've done to him? You know what I mean? So thank you for reminding me of that one too. But on top of all of that, right, you've got a brand new company that's trying to change things, trying to do things differently, right? You got a tech bro with all of his daddy's money who flat out says, I want to do things differently. I want to reshape the way the Hollywood landscape works, right? I want to restore things. He's hired Barry Weiss to clean out CBS. Barry Weiss is the famous journalist writer who's got 1 million awards, done all kinds of incredible stuff, was forced out of the New York Times because she wouldn't violate her journalistic integrity to fall in line with the rest of the spirit of the age bullshit that the New York Times was trying to put out, right? So there's a lot of people inside of Paramount with axes to grind with mainstream legacy media. And of course, obviously, a lot of that is Hollywood, right? On the other side of that coin, as Jay so well pointed out, Netflix, the major investments with the Obama. You want to really know why Warner Brothers' board decided to pick Netflix's deal over Paramount's clearly better offer? Because one of Netflix's board members has ties to the Obamas, which is why Warner Brothers is producing a new series that was being produced by the Obamas. Okay, so there's your Netflix deal with all of that kind of stuff. This is the situation. Anybody out there that wants to go, Netflix's Defender stuff was great. I 100% agree with you. I love Jessica Jones, Daredevil, and that whole rest of the game. The Iron Fist stuff was kind of crap. I disagree with you on the first season, but that's okay. We're nerds, and that's all right, by God. But at the end of the day, like you brought up earlier, Jace, the comics, right? With examples like Cowboy Bebop, Cuties.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see what else of the list of things we can go through. Because here's the thing: at the end of the day, Netflix originals, right? Netflix originals, for the most part, and you can even include Stranger Things in this, all lean in one direction and one direction only. It's not sticking to the source material at all. All right, it's pushing the agenda. Bullshit. Given there's a few examples of things that they've tried to tone things back over the years. But if you're telling me right now that the activists inside of Netflix are not literally salivating, that they do not have the biggest boners that a trans woman could ever possibly fucking have over there at Netflix, just dying to get a hold of Superman and Batman, I've got some fucking oceanfront property in Arizona to sell you, okay? Because you think a kryptonite rod up Superman's ass was the worst thing to happen to him in DC Comics?
Oh, yeah.
Wait till the activists over there at Netflix get it. You think Creature Commandos and Peacemaker were examples of James Gunn with an axe to grind against Christians and conservatives? Wait till the Obamas get a hold of Batman. Ta-Nehisi Coates' Black Superman, based in the 60s during the Civil Rights era, will be the first version of Batman you will see come out of Netflix. I guarantee you that. Okay? So there is no question in my mind. I even have doing this I have done way too many videos over this Warner Brothers Skydance deal because most people don't give a shit because this is the nitty gritty. They just want to know how's it all going to end. Okay? First off, Netflix has almost no chance at actually pulling this off. At least not for a couple of years. Okay, this thing is going to go through regulatory hell because you are combining the number 1 and the number 3 streamer in the world. Okay, this is not just in the United States. They are the number 1 and number 3 streamer globally, hands down. You don't think the EU and given Netflix allegedly has worked out a deal with the EU to where they'll smooth all this out and allow it to go in. Well, of course they have. Netflix agrees with the same spirit of the age that the EU would. So why wouldn't the EU be perfectly okay with this? But the United States government is the big issue with this right now. And you know what? You can talk about Trump. Trump's had his back and forth with Paramount over the last couple of weeks. Jared Kushner's no longer backing the financing deal anymore. By the way, Jared Kushner's money for that whole deal was literally like about 1 or 2%. Okay, so it doesn't really matter all that much. That was more Trump's seat at the table is what that really was. Okay, right. So based on the federal government, Trump's out of the mix, whatever, doesn't matter. You've got regulators, you've got politicians on both sides screaming that this is a horrible idea. You have all of Hollywood up in arms over this screaming because whoever was talking about having to drive 30 minutes to an AMC theater, you're absolutely right. Netflix has already said they will be shortening the theatrical releases going forward. And they're like, 30-day window. Yeah, that's going to be 2 weeks to about a couple of days. Whatever's long enough to satisfy their directors and their artists so they can get their fucking Oscar is the only amount of time those movies will be put in theaters. And it will only be for select things that people want Oscars for, and that is it. You will never see a major live action DC production that is should be seen on the big screen for longer than a couple of weeks. And guess what? With the new wonderful IMAX deal that Netflix is putting out there, which the IMAX CEO, holy cow, that guy is like, Greta Gerwig's Narnia is going to be this cultural event that everybody's going to love, and it's going to be wonderful. Yeah, guess who's paying for that? Netflix. So explain to me how Paramount, who wants to reboot the Star Trek universe and let Kurtzman's contracts run out, is the worst option? Or is and trust me, if we all lived in a perfect world right? Warner Brothers would go completely and totally bankrupt, and all of the DC would get sold off whole cloth as its own little brand, or Batman, Superman, all of those IPs would get sold off individually, right? For whoever the biggest bidder was, and these small studios would be able to come in and go, Batman's our only IP. That's our crown jewel. So we're going to make the best Batman ever, because if we don't make a good Batman, our studio is going to die. Right? Mm-hmm. That is never going to happen at Netflix. Netflix will only use these characters to push their agenda. Hands down, bar none. Mark my word, we've seen this happen before, right? Mm-hmm. So all of this being said, Paramount is still the most likely to come out on top of this, because now they're going directly to the shareholders. It's not if a hostile taker is going over, it's happening right now. And these trade magazines out there, Variety and Hollywood Reporter, they're all trying to write it out. There's headlines are like, Paramount, Warner Brothers board rejects Paramount's hostile takeover. Well, here's the funny part about that. The whole point of a hostile takeover is to avoid the damn board. The board has no decision-making in this whatsoever, right? You know who does? DC fans and shareholders, investment firms. And if you don't think, because there have been rumors and reports out there that Paramount is willing to go as far as $35 a share to make this happen and to get everything whole cloth, because that's the other factor into this as well. Netflix only wants Warner Brothers and HBO Max, right? They don't want CNN. They don't want Discovery. They don't want any of the linear stuff. None of that, right?
Oh, yeah, that's all getting shut down.
Is there any... Is there any shareholder in the world that thinks you're going to make up for $2 or $3 a share with selling off CNN? Right? Okay. Let's be real honest about that one. Okay. Okay. So that on top of it is there are all kinds of conversations and negotiations going on right now with all of the major investment firms in Wall Street that actually own Warner Brothers Discovery, right? Not the board, not fucking David Zaslav or any of the rest of those asshats that are working out deals with Obama and Netflix behind the scenes, right? They do not decide this. The shareholders will, and the shareholders have until January 7th to make their decision. And I got this funny feeling. It doesn't sound like a lot of time, but that can be extended. And the other thing about this is even the poly market, Wall Street's own betting markets are saying there is a 2% chance that the Netflix deal will be closed in 2026. Everybody's saying at minimum 2 years. Are those shareholders and all them investment firms going to want to sit around and wait for years to finally get their money, which, by the way, includes Netflix stock? And Netflix's stock has been taking a massive dip ever since all this shit got announced. So
it's not going to work out, but I would like to make one thing clear. Everything Warner Brothers touches these days tends to collapse. Great way
but
to...
now they're buying and selling. This has been Zaslav's plan since he took over the company. This was always the plan to sell the damn thing.
Now it all makes sense. And to think Midnight's head shield for this guy.
Yeah, but coming there makes a great point, too. I mean, the regulation is going to be nasty. And very nasty. Look at Activision Blizzard when they got acquired by Microsoft, how long that took to actually come to fruition because of the EU regulations as well.
Or Disney's acquisition.
And Activision Blizzard's a much smaller company than Warner Brothers.
Exactly.
Well, Triton thankfully is here. And for the sake of his sleep schedule and for his family, Hugo, why don't you tell all the people where they can find you? Because I want to torture Dash. I want to torture Dash with this third topic.
We need at least 5 more gay jokes on there.
Right.
Oh, boy.
It's just a sign of love, Dash. I think he's just really into you.
Oh, man.
Got nothing to do with that.
Right. He shifts me. Oh, Digni, you
So, Hugo, tell folks where they can find you and what you're doing.
Well, I have a channel since YouTube is so kind as to write out the whole handles. There it is, visible in the chat in that way. So every once in a while I put something out there, but basically I'm working on my own game project, and that will take long.
Look, use some AI and you'll be able to to release it far quicker. Okay, we appreciate you for being on, Hugo, and the only reason I picked you over Dash is because I want to torture him with this next topic. So you have a good night.
Of course.
You have a good night, and Wakanda forever.
Sure.
All right, then. I'll just remove you. There you go. There we go. Hello, Triton.
Hello, what is good, everybody?
We're going to put Triton in the corner. We'll put him where Hugo was. All right, then, folks. Now it's for the next topic. Do you know why we're having Triton here for this third topic, folks? This will likely be longer than 2 hours, or we can keep it at 2 hours and just have 3 topics. Folks, I can make 12 videos from yesterday's network show with John because it went for nearly 4 hours.
Yeah.
Okay, but the third topic, I'll just write. None of my pens work properly anymore. 1 hour, 20 minutes.
You need an Anne Frank pen.
Let me guess.
Yeah,
it's
I do.
It's about our queen.
Okay, 1 hour, 20 minutes, and 30 seconds for the third topic. And the third topic is YouTube recommended this as inspiration AI is anti-Israel. Okay, folks? Okay, folks, because, this has been an overarching topic recently in regards to the network covering YouTube's inspiration AI, which barely anyone has covered or talked about, because let's face it, folks, no one ever uses it. Because the batshit crazy stuff that comes out of it is something that inspires comedy, folks. It inspires laughter. But I'm just going to share my screen because I want to provide a visual example of this. And let's see if I can.
I've seen it already. You guys are gonna get a crack out of it.
I'm gonna have to share it through my visual effects. Okay, folks, you can see it there. This was created unprompted by YouTube's inspiration AI. It's in the thumbnail, in fact. Here it is. It's right here.
Oh my gosh. I was wondering what that was.
This image was made unprompted, and the title, I couldn't believe this. I wish I had saved it, but unfortunately I didn't. It was completely unprompted. It was Netanyahu's bloodlust exposed.
Oh,
That's a lot of adrenochrome.
Okay, folks, and look at the features, right? You've got obviously the Israeli flag, you've got the blood red background, and it also looks like a church or a synagogue, and there's a heartbeat. A fluctuating heartbeat.
Yeah,
this is
like
it's absolutely ridiculous. And folks, ordinarily this would not be a topic because YouTube is usually very sensitive about covering these situations. The reason this is a topic on YouTube is because YouTube recommended this to me unprompted. I didn't ask for this. I was just browsing through my inspiration section, and it came up. Netanyahu's bloodlust exposed.
Oh man, you're gonna get a call from Cyclone Ben.
Emerged as a result. It was absolutely ridiculous. But there is something I did manage to save, folks, in my inspiration tab. And we're going to ask Dash first of all, because we're going to catch him completely off guard. What do you make of that, Dash? What do you make of YouTube recommending me a topic which is innately anti-Israel? What do you make of that? You shocked?
I think the AI and YouTube are completely out of sync because there's no way like that thumbnail would get approved by their ever-changing TOS.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was having second thoughts of even sharing it. Okay, folks. I had to share it privately with Dash and I think with Byron before doing this. Okay, that's the great irony of this. If I made that into a video on YouTube, recommended by YouTube, I'd probably be deplatformed by YouTube. Do you understand the madness involved in this situation? Okay,
Yes.
It's absolutely insane. But I managed to save a few things, folks. I managed to save a few topics. The thumbnails were not nearly as egregious, but I'm gonna just share my screen real quick. I always press the wrong button when I share my screen. It's always annoying. But this is it. This is the inspiration, folks. And look, the bots of BB. How Netanyahu's digital army infiltrates social media.
What?
Okay.
What the fuck?
Netanyahu's TikTok takeover is his campaign manipulating Gen Z beyond deepfakes. How Netanyahu's AI weaponizes synthetic voice and video. There are some others that I've also saved, mostly because I like the thumbnails, in all honesty. But, folks, from one of these three, right? From one of these three, I'm just gonna hide this for a little bit. From one of those three prompts, those saved prompts, this thumbnail emerged, right? This thumbnail, which is scary. An accurate depiction,
very obviously BB
of Benjamin Netanyahu, which is incredibly rare. It's just incredibly rare to achieve using YouTube's inspiration AI, because when you type in, say, for example, Rob Reiner, it doesn't come up with a picture of Rob Reiner. When you type in type in anyone's name, a visually accurate portrayal of their face does not emerge, prompted or unprompted. This is a fucking gold mine.
The depiction of Bibi Netanyahu as an eldritch horror. I'm just trying to make sure that my phone is far enough away that if it rings, it doesn't explode.
And I'm gonna zoom in, folks, because it looks just like him.
Well, that's the funny thing.
I just
If I
want
could
to state
piggyback
for the record right now, I love BB, and my phone, I believe its encryption is from Israel. I'm just putting that out there right now.
Boy.
Okay, folks, this is absolutely ridiculous. I'm gonna delete
Trump's
these.
not gonna like this one.
I'm gonna delete these from my StreamYard for obvious reasons.
You can't talk about his boyfriend like that. His long distance relationship. He invited him to the White House for like the 80th time this year.
Well, we're gonna go down the panel to get first impressions. Triton, what do you make of all this from what you've seen so far?
I think a lot of it's funny, but it's all going to be removed by Trump. Trump's going to, as soon as he gets wind of this topic, he's going to just lose his shit.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this, Triton. It's interesting you say that, Triton, because Trump's Secretary of Education mistaked AI for A1, which would be funny, but it is funnier knowing that individual is Linda McMahon.
Yeah, it's funnier knowing she's taken one from Steve Austin, a stunner.
That's really fun.
What is?
Sure, it's not the only thing.
Wow, it's like
what
a
That's like I definitely see the American.
Oh my, biblically accurate angel right there.
Because I don't know if y'all saw yesterday, but Trump's already complaining about Congress being anti-Semitic for just criticizing Israel. If they see all this, know they're definitely it's going to affect AI negatively.
That's but the thing is, Triton, and this is something that's
explore related styles.
I mean,
Netanyahu's robot army.
I mean, again, to go with what Triton is saying right now, someone just posted this in our Discord earlier. This is from, I guess I got this on X here. On breaking, President Trump says tackling anti-Semitism is the biggest priority of his administration. So not the economy, not reining in the rampant left or the spread of communist ideals. No, we got to worry about the fact that people might make some spicy memes on the internet.
But guys, we have to consider, if that is the case, folks, then YouTube, its inspiration AI, needs to fundamentally be undermined. Do you know what led to all this? One word: Netanyahu.
Well, a lot of everybody. This is one of the big things too. Everybody needs to understand about something, right?
Yeah.
The AI is nothing more than a representation of what it was trained on, right?
Exactly.
So whatever they were feeding this AI, whether it be news articles, whether it be videos, whatever it is, clearly the information they were feeding it was extremely biased. And we know what side of the media has a huge, whether they have a reason or not, huge bias against Israel and Netanyahu.
Oh, I got guys.
In fact, too, the AI doesn't even fact check. If you feed them information, it just goes.
Oh
with
yeah,
it.
no.
Yeah, the
100%.
established Grok was like that like for a while.
I know
That's
AI
why it's whatever you feed it. It all it knows is what it was fed, and that's it.
Triton and I are going to get a call from this dude that I'm sharing with you.
First of all,
look at the other one though.
Yeah, I know, but look,
it's like looking like an explosion.
That looks like a vaporwave album.
This is another gold mine because this is another rare thumbnail that looks accurate to the man in question, right?
Yeah.
Another thing too is I can't legally show a microphone on this show.
That's right. AI might decide it's a gun.
Yeah,
I heard about that for somebody.
Yeah, that literally happened, folks. Right, and this is very dangerous in a sense that YouTube recommends all of this. You make a video about it, and then YouTube deplatforms
It's
you.
entrapment. It's entrapment.
Oh, I don't think YouTube would deplatform you for any of this. I honestly think I guarantee you none of our algorithms are filled with this kind of stuff, but I guarantee you there are people algorithms out there that are full of videos just like this. Because here's the thing. The AI had to learn all of this from somewhere. It had to learn it all from somewhere.
Oh boy. That's Speedy's VTuber model.
That one's good.
I am giving all of these to cancel this podcast.
Oh, damn.
Yes.
And
he's going to use every one of them.
And I will also give them to Lord Triton so we can have a YouTube and Rumble comparison. Okay.
Oh boy.
There you go.
Oh
God. Don't even get started on the anti-Israel.
Don't worry.
I've gotten a couple of those. I've gotten a couple of
My
those.
channel
Holy
will still
shit.
get taken down for anti-Semitism, even though I'm literally getting it from YouTube.
I have not talked about the Israel stuff since Tara Strong got canceled from that animation project over.
Yeah.
Oh, I heard about that.
Digni, I want you to see this picture that I'm sharing because this man is probably going to sit on Triton and he's probably going to eat my dinner. All right.
Okay.
This is the guy who's going to shut it down.
It's quoting time, folks. I'm the quoter. Quote: Trump's pick for combating anti-Israeli activity, because that's all it really is, folks. Rabbi Yehuda Kaploon. What a name. Says the State Department will, quote, have a whole division, unquote, to combat anti-Israeli activities. Well, then you're going to have to take on YouTube because YouTube recommended this topic to me, folks.
We should send this stuff to him. We need to send this stuff to him.
Sam Tarley from Game of Thrones become a rabbi?
He was always Jewish. You didn't know?
Okay, including altering social media algorithms with the help of tech lead. Well, this is one algorithm you need to bloody change.
Oh, please, somebody, when Digni cuts this video out, please, everybody flood this guy's email, his government email with this video, please.
If you say that guy's name 3 times, you summon Voldemort.
I could barely pronounce.
No, you get a circumcision.
Oh.
You get a circumcision, then it looks like Voldemort down there.
But the nice part is at least you get a bar mitzvah afterwards, and those are a hell of a party. So
yeah, I've been to a couple.
Yep.
See?
I'll tell you this, folks. Happy Chanukah, because it starts with a C.
Happy Hanukkah.
And I do find it ironic we're talking about this on a Jewish holiday. So what about you, Ronnie? What do you make of all you've seen and heard so far?
Number one, you raised a great point. Why is my watch vibrating? I hope you guys can't hear that because it's buried under a pile of junk.
Tick, 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 tick.
Okay, you guys can't hear it. Good. So basically, bottom line is, I remember when I was generating hot pictures of Taylor Swift, and I said, generate a picture of Taylor Swift in a bunny suit. And I mean, not that I was doing that for myself. I just wanted to have. Anyway, that doesn't matter. But jokes aside, in all
Check the
seriousness, I
middle
was
one.
generating, and I said, it says I can't generate particular people. I do this with historical figures, Emperor Hirohito, Tadamachi Kurabayashi, amongst others. And then I say, give me someone who looks like ... looks like a soldier from this army. And suddenly it's like not only willing to generate it, but half the time it will give me someone who indeed is Taylor Swift. Because I'm sorry, it doesn't look like her. It's literally her, which was absolutely hilarious. And apparently, in the example you had, I guess they're using that same logic to skirt the rule where it wouldn't give you the picture if you said, give me Benny, right, as his name, Benjamin. But, like, you don't ask for it, and for whatever, and I think it comes down to partially to the double standard. So when you express the concern, like if I make this a video as per their recommendation, and, it's definitely two sides to that, discussion, or at least in terms of, like, what we think the outcome would be of that. And I do think that you can't be certain. I think I could be certain of double standards. That's the one thing that I think I can count on.
Guys, someone call up Dez and show him this screenshot, because apparently YouTube's inspiration AI made this through the prompt Netanyahu, nothing else, just Netanyahu. And the title is "Grifters in Politics. Is Netanyahu the Decembro of global leadership?"
Oh no!
What? You are YouTube, through its inspiration AI, are directly accusing an up-and-coming established content creator of being the Netanyahu of pop culture content creation. It's absolutely insane. And you probably cottoned onto the fact that we're exposing you and you can't create.
So, Digni, can you generate Netanyahu in a bunny suit then, just to go off what Ronnie just said?
Or someone who looks like Netanyahu, because remember, it can't generate him in a bunny suit, but it'll give you a guy who looks like, and it'll definitely be like a spitting image.
Oh, it's utterly ridiculous. But originally, folks, when I was doing this, there was no prompt when I first discovered this. I was just scrolling down, and you come up with crazy things like this: how algorithmic echo chambers amplify political extremism, the global impact. Are you watching this show?
Damn, Deborah Wilson's looking mighty rough.
I think they actually are.
Well, it is on YouTube, and it is its AI.
Sure, that's not Dash Wilson.
I know. I'm pretty sure one of those guys is like the head engineer at YouTube.
Attack on Assassin's Creed with historic.
Collides with Attack on
Titan. With it.
I'm not interested in Assassin's Creed or Attack on Titan, but look, we just talked about this.
Hey, there you go.
Apparently, Netflix is a pillar and Paramount is a cloud.
That's a pillar of gold coins.
Who's winning the balls versus cloud? What?
Oh, boy.
It's nuts. It's absolutely nuts. But I was just scrolling down and I just came across this, right? It's insane. It's
now I want to look at this damn thing.
Insane. Okay. Look, it's Saber. Hello, Saber. Great to see you. Saber says, or Subber, I came into the live stream at the right time. I saw the flag burning in the thumbnail and had to click on it. Well, Subberpath, who is Mustafa Al-Hassani, is an Iraqi American. So it would have been great to have him on today's show to go through this topic. And it's great to see Lumissa, who is a woman. I know we have women watching this show, but is that a grave? Is Hollywood's obsession with IP reboots destroying original storytelling? There we go. Netanyahu's meme machine. How AI generates political propaganda beyond deepfakes, and it is an image of Olympic balls. Let's see where this leads. Completely unprompted, by the way. I just want to repeat this. I didn't prompt any of this.
It says based on your saved ideas. So based on things you saved, if you saved any of them.
Oh, because now you've saved some of these, so now it's giving you even more of them.
Oh wow,
well,
this the
let's
extreme.
find-
It's just like the
pipeline.
YouTube algorithm. It's feeding you what you want. Good job,
Yep.
Digni.
Oh boy.
You're now an anti-Israeli, anti-BB
Look-
channel.
Look at that clanker up in the left. I'm surprised that you didn't save that one for an AI topic in the future.
There we go.
Actually, I
just
would.
did.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Okay,
There it is now. There you go.
I'll press because there's another feature, folks. I press onto it and it says refine this thumbnail. Where's my keyboard? There we
Oh,
go.
I see it.
Make the robot Netanyahu.
Oh, Netanyahu like. Make it look like someone who looks like Benjamin Netanyahu.
Well, we'll try this one first, and then we'll. Why does it say human hands deleting? That's so weird.
What? That's crazy.
I know it's crazy. Well, this is cryptic dash, which is why it's such an insane topic. Waiting.
Well, I mean, human hands deleting. That's not. Too cool.
Oh, boy,
yep,
that's
there
a
you go.
Terminator.
Oh my
Damn.
gosh. I mean,
That is.
I think the algorithm. I think the AI was like, make the robot Netanyahu, and it turned Netanyahu into a robot.
Yeah, it did. It turned into a Terminator. That's what's under there.
Wild.
I am going to save this, obviously. But let's.
That's the last thing a children's hospital sees.
Oh, too soon.
I know. I'm just going to type in make Netanyahu human. This is me actually prompting, folks, but this
Is that
topic,
thing possible?
it is, and I'll make it
Word.
possible. Because if this is
Watch,
not
it's gonna work.
possible, Jose, I will accuse YouTube's Inspiration AI of anti-Semitism. I will call on the U.S. Congress to condemn YouTube, and I will say to YouTube, we won't get Israel after you unless you give me my channel back. How about that?
There's nothing there anymore anyway, except the name.
Hold on.
We're waiting.
Uh-oh. I'm getting the call. I'll
No,
be right back.
No, couldn't create thumbnail. YouTube is anti-Semitic.
Nah.
YouTube is anti-Semitic because I tried to make
Now
Netanyahu
confirmed.
human.
whoa.
And
It actually
having-
resisted that prompt. Holy cow. That is wild.
Okay, let's try
Like I
make
said, it's all
Netanyahu
about
a
what it
duck.
was trained on. Make him a
Make
lizard
him a
person.
duck.
Ooh,
Make
I
him a
like that.
duck. For no particular reason.
What kind of
I tell
animals
you,
do
this
they
thing's
have?
biased.
Do they have any animals in the desert in Israel? Like in Dune, they have
There
that
you go.
rat.
It made him into a fucking duck, but not into a
Aw.
human being.
What is he spitting out of his mouth? Is that money?
Propaganda, I guess.
Nah,
I
it's-
don't know.
AI slop media.
Yeah.
It's all his propaganda.
Oh no. Oh no. Netanyahu's meme machine. That's a train.
Yeah, that's that one.
That's a train.
chugga.
Folks.
What
Chugga,
the
chugga, choo,
hell?
choo.
Oh no, I just got that.
Folks.
Oh, I got it. I'm just ignoring it. Jesus.
Jews and trains don't mix. Oh
That's the
my
last thing I think about when I think of trains.
But literally, right? The prompt rejected make Netanyahu human, but the prompt
Do a lizard
accepted make Netanyahu a duck.
Make him a lizard.
So-
I bet it'll do it.
So I prompt the question, or I pose the question, folks: is YouTube's Inspiration AI anti-Israel?
I think it is.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's one of them situations where it's like I said earlier, it's what the AI was trained on, right? And the news, the information, the models, all of that kind of stuff that it was trained on clearly have an anti-Israeli bias.
Is
Like
that
that
a-
is very obvious based just on this. And
that
so
a-
who's ever,
Is that a lizard?
He's shooting Wojaks.
I think it's
from-
supposed to.
No, like those are Wojaks, like from 4chan.
Oh,
Is
I
that?
did not
It's
know.
absolutely insane, folks. Right?
But I mean, yeah,
posed-
it just shows you the people feeding it. The people feeding it obviously had an anti-Israeli bias because that was where the information that they were getting all of their stuff from.
So, Triton, you're never losing your YouTube channel. In fact, do you want me to tell you how to find inspiration, folks? How I found it? I found it by going into the analytics, going into trends, and we're only one sub away from 275.
Woohoo!
And then it
Nice.
says, and then it says, go
generates
to-
like thumbnails and shit, like whatever, like you.
Oh,
put.
it's got it on my. It's got inspiration on my homepage.
Yep. Oh, if it's on the homepage, then you can just go to it from there. But this is how I discovered it, folks.
Yeah.
And you know, barely anyone uses it because most of these are batshit crazy. But this is probably saved from my, based on saved ideas. But Netanyahu's Next Generation: How AI-Powered Youth Outreach Redefines Political Campaigns.
Why couldn't it create a video summary for this one?
Yeah, well, it has
guys.
now.
Wow.
As Benjamin Netanyahu faces an aging voter base. Yeah, I wonder why. We're dissecting. It's always dissecting. It's always dissecting for some reason. How his campaign's innovative use of AI-driven youth outreach and hyper-targeted digital messaging aims to redefine political engagement, leveraging sophisticated algorithms, blowing up children's hospitals to cultivate a new generation of support and counter-shifting demographics in the United States of America.
And it's just, that is just so wild. And you know what they're gonna say too, right? If this ever gets out, YouTube's gonna say, well, that was based on what you've been looking at. It has nothing to do with us. We didn't do that. Well, why can we do all of this stuff though, but we can't go the other way on things?
Oh, this is a
you can't make it. You can't have the likeness of a real person. Okay.
This is a fantastic thumbnail, folks. Fantastic. Oh, look, that's even better.
Hey, wow.
Wow.
There we go. Fantastic.
That
Absolutely.
is
Oh, what about? Oh, this one's
insane.
even better.
Yeah, look at all the Israeli flags in that one.
See, look, folks, we need to
Holy cow.
understand that it is YouTube's. This is YouTube's doing. All of this is YouTube's doing, right? Right? It's as simple as that. All of it. All of this is YouTube's doing. All of it. So for them to blame their creators is absolutely insane.
They're trying
It's
to
crazy.
shift the blame to the creators so that they don't have to take responsibility for this whenever Trump.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, and this
they're
is-
it's basically they're honeypotting people to make content like this.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's
I
terrifying.
feel like this is one big honeypot to bait all the anti-Israeli creators so they can give a list of names to, the FBI and the CIA of like, hey, this is all the anti-Semite people.
But that's the irony, Triton.
That's way too much three-dimensional chess for them.
Well, I'll tell you this, Triton. No one uses this. Do any of you know a content creator that used YouTube's
I
inspiration?
don't think a lot of people would admit that they're using it.
Well, I think it's quite clear.
I mean, I didn't.
Well, go on.
I've never even looked at any of this shit, and I've been making YouTube content for over 4 years, and I've never even looked at this.
I've been around for a while, and I've never even heard of this feature.
Exactly.
Ever. I didn't know
Exactly
this
that.
existed.
Right? No one's talking about this. The reason I'm bringing this up, folks, is because of the fact that no one else is. Look, beyond BB bots, how AI weaponizes synthetic voice for political campaigns, right?
And I feel like the reason why no one's talking about this because this is an obvious honeypot.
Well, if it was an obvious honeypot, Triton, YouTube would push this to the fucking moon so everyone would use it, but they're not. Honeypots only work with honey. Otherwise, all you have is a pot.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
I'm with you on that one, Digni. That would make it.
Right.
It just wouldn't work. Like I said, that's way too much three-dimensional chess for them. I think this is all about what they've been feeding their algorithm. It just shows you the natural bias of the people that work at YouTube that have been feeding their AI.
Right? You look at this, for example, Twitch's political pipeline, how streamers redefine youth activism. So this is basically YouTube's algorithm
Yeah, that's
accusing
basically-
I was gonna say that's
Yeah, go
literally
on.
like a headline from thegamer.com.
Yeah.
Like that's YouTube's a right wing, it's a right wing extremist pipeline. Like
Yeah.
it's literally a gamer headline.
YouTube has a vested interest in accusing one of its rivals of radicalizing young people. Obviously.
Duh.
It's
Well, yeah, you accuse the other side of what you're doing.
Exactly.
Duh.
Right? Or look, Angry Joe's algorithm unpacking the roots of his controversial content because he goes on.
Okay, now that I'd probably actually watch.
Right? Or the echo chamber effect, or decentralized ethics. The irony of a program purpose-built to lie to people, talking to us about ethics. It's ridiculous, right? We can't show anymore for some reason. But in all seriousness, folks, this is a big issue. It's a big problem, and I want to make it clear from the bottom of my heart that we stand in solidarity with our brothers and sisters across the pond. Okay, we do. I'm just seeing black on my end because my screen. My screen basically reset itself. So what I'm going to do, folks, is I'm going to pop back in. It'll be very quick, and then we can get, if we have time, to the final topic. What is the final topic? In fact, the final topic.
Ishii.
Yes, and you know, it's great that we kept Dash around for this topic because he loves railing against Asian women because they're his primary competition to find a man. 1 hour.
I love Asian women. Most of the time. Not every Ishii.
He likes Thai Asian women. 1 hour, 15 minutes, and 50 seconds. And the title, just to let everyone know, is Sucker Punch Founder Resigns as Erika Ishii Fills Her Face. So, Dash, why don't you provide some context for this situation? Long enough for me to disappear and come back again.
All right, let's see. I did tweet about it when I, let's see if I can find my own tweet. It was, I think, from a few days ago. Trying to, here it is. Oh, yeah. A lot of people found this joke I made funny. Oh, hey, how'd you get it up already? All right, so, Geoff Keighley himself, Sucker Punch Productions founder, Brian Film is stepping down from the
Keighley,
studio.
You twat. It's Jeff, not Joff. Jeff.
From the studio at the end of 2025. And I'm like, your studio on activism, not even once. Symptoms may include fan apathy or damage control, slower sales, and abrupt layoffs and departures. If you or a gaming studio you know is showing symptoms, call the toll-free number 1-800-UNWOKE. That's 1-800-UNWOKE. I just posted the picture, that viral picture of Ishii gorging her face with the Ghost of Yotai popcorn bowl that Sony generously made her.
They made her a specific vessel for which she could eat. It's ridiculous, folks. I'm sick of saying this. So many of these topics and situations are ridiculous. Why have they race swapped Cruella de Vil into an Asian woman?
Well, they race swapped the other woman in the Cruella movie.
It's so tiresome, folks. But you know what isn't tiresome? It's the fact that Sucker Punch has been sucker punched. Their founder has resigned, has walked away from the company, and this is a company that unfortunately goes through cycles of rise and fall, and usually their second iteration of a game marks the end of that franchise. Now, I don't know if that's going to be true of the Ghost franchise, because you never know in this day and age. But one thing I can tell you is to keep the reputation of Sucker Punch intact, they have to separate themselves from this lady as quickly as humanly possible.
Oh yeah,
not gonna happen.
For sure.
It's a monstrous issue, folks, because she is completely undignified, completely unprofessional, and quite frankly, she damages the projects that she is part of. She's the Erika we don't want.
Yeah. Like, you saw that picture of her protesting in 2020, like with waving those pride flags outside of Disney.
Yeah.
Like, she is nuts. She is absolutely unprofessional, nuts, and like the fact they made her the face of the game told me the game was going to be woke.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they didn't make her the body of the character because it would have been fat. There we go. But Triton,
Well,
what
now,
do you
see,
make?
and earlier when you were talking about fat Asians, I thought you were talking about like actual Asian. That chick eats nothing but American food. She ain't seen a bowl of rice or a piece of kimchi in like 30 years, if ever.
I know. I mean, Erika Ishii is living proof that the Western world can just poison anyone. But Triton, what do you make of what you've seen and heard in regards to this situation?
I'm not going to lie. I'm going to use the best, smartest route. I don't know this one.
Oh, my goodness. I wish I was in Triton's position. I wish I didn't know who Erika
Sweet summer child.
I wish, right? Okay.
But Erika just sounds like a person that's poisoning the Western world. So honestly, that bitch is stupid.
Yeah. Especially with the last name of Ishii. Okay. Ishii? Ishii Fishy? Is she fishy, ladies and gentlemen? I think she is.
I think she is.
But what about you, Ronnie? What do you make of all this from what you've seen and heard? Yeah, I can't hear you.
You're muted.
Oh yeah, you're muted, dude.
If you can help me out, just to home in on the still what we were just talking about, because like honestly, it flew over my head. And it could be because I was competing with Reggie on a drawing contest.
Oh, I'll break it down. Ollie will break
ahead.
it down. So Sucker Punch released Ghost of Yotai, which had her as the face and voice actress of the game, and the woman's a complete nut job.
She's a crazy Antifa activist.
So I guess like my question would be
politics,
the video game.
a whole lot.
Oh yeah, I can imagine. And she looks like my friend, a friend. I don't know if she's my friend anymore because last time I fixed the computer, we debated January 6th. But anyway, that was fun.
Probably not
You
anymore.
implant a bomb in her computer.
Well, I didn't have to because apparently her associates already did because they were trying to force flat. Anyway, but jokes aside, she's not like one of those visual. What do you call it? Motion capture,
Well, she also does motion capture too. She does do motion capture.
So what is she doing? Is she like being the motion capture actress for Jupiter?
I mean, I saw a picture from her. She had this physiognomy of Mr. Fuji from the 90s WWE.
So, ultimately, I've seen Snowdub Jolly play Ghost of Tsushima, and it looks like a fantastic game, and I should have bought it on sale during Black Friday, and I do want to get that game at some point, because it does look great. Like, I mean, like, I'm not an expert in Japanese culture, but I try to study gradually what I can, and I think it predates Commodore Perry. Does it predate Commodore Perry, or does it occur after? I know it's a weird question, but,
I
feel like
I don't know.
Okay, no worries, no big deal. Well, anyway, bottom line is, I'm concerned about the trend, but that's why I plan to buy Ghost of Tsushima, and I will hold off on this Ghost of Yokai until I see, if I just said that right, until I see if,
Dash can't say it right either.
So, yeah, that's my thoughts on that, and I thank you, Dash, for filling me on that.
Yeah.
It's Yote, like
Yote.
Yote. Yote, like yo gay. Okay, Dash? Not
Yep, that's why you kept me on.
Not yo
okay to be
tie
yote.
as in yo bye, but yote as in yo gay.
Oh, again with the bi erasure, man.
Oh, boy.
My God, these microaggressions.
Oh dear, you'd like
Stop
a
sucking dick and you won't have to worry about it.
Oh dear, I know, Dan. Could you imagine if Dan had a conversation? Oh my goodness, that would be ridiculous. That'd be crazy. Oh, it would drive
Furious
someone.
Dan?
No, a guy who makes Furious Dan look like an orangutan.
Wow.
That's this Dan, okay? This Dan is as sharp as Albert Einstein compared to Furious Dan. It's insane. But that would be an interesting conversation. I'd love to have like a panel of 20 people and have everyone in the network mingle, then hate each other, and then the network collapses.
Oh yeah, that would be chaos.
Set up a Discord. We'll figure that out. We'll figure out how to do that without you.
Yeah.
Don't even worry about it.
I'd rather stick a loaded gun in my mouth. But in all seriousness,
Oh boy.
Like 400 people we could use.
oh no, it's all right. It's all right. I'd rather stick a loaded gun in my mouth than use Discord. But what about you, Jose? What do you make of Sucker Punch getting sucker punched as Erika Ishii eats her fat face full of chaos?
Oh man, I couldn't believe it because I was covering the Game Awards in real time with Jay Viper, Mark Fox, Mr. Nobody, and every time they showed Ishii, every time the camera was on her, without fail, she was stuffing her face with food. That woman was eating her feelings. It was something. But as far as Sucker Punch, if the game were successful, there's no way on God's green earth that they would be forced to have a management shift. That doesn't happen when a game is successful. Remember, they kept hammering us over the head. It's a great game. It's successful. It's the best game ever. You're just a bunch of chuds. Yeah, that's why Sony's having internal meetings about going back to the drawing board, about going back to Japan, doing a mea culpa. Hey, we need to become a Japanese company again because we were a Japanese company. People liked our games. And by the way, now even the hit pieces are coming out on the leftist rags like The Gamer saying, well, it's been 5 years since America and American studios took home a game award for Game of the Year. Yeah, well, you know what? It's not like that's going to pressure the Game Awards into giving that a pity give to an American studio. That's the writing on the wall. Your games suck. Your games have been terrible. You've been focused not on making the game better. You've been focused on horse testicles, DEI, and how you can stick it to the white man who wasn't doing anything to you. All the white man want to do, and any man, is to come home at the end of their long-ass day, play their video game, relax, and not think about all these stupid political issues. But that was just too difficult for them. And when we told them that, we're all a bunch of bigots, racists, incels, whatever. Tell me how these people are incels. Most of the people I know, like Common Nerd, they have a lot of kids. They got a lot of kids. So, I mean, what is it? Immaculate conception? If I'm an incel, that's news. That's news. I mean, I love it. I love it because you know what? It's hilarious. And this is Sucker Punch getting exactly what they deserve, exactly what they said wasn't going to happen. It's the same thing that we've seen happen time and time again. Concord, anyone? And it will happen with Bungie and Marathon as well in the future. When we say not to do this, it wasn't just us, saying we don't want these games. It was literally a rebuke of everything AAA, and that happened. That's why Clear Obscure Expedition 33 came home with 8 awards. Ghost of Yotai came out with none. It didn't even come out with a consolation prize.
8,
Same with
9,
Assassin's Creed Shadows.
11, I don't know.
I mean,
but I will point out before we let the Common Nerd tie this topic in a bow to end the show on. I will point out that Baldur's Gate 3, which did win the Game Awards, wasn't made by Americans, folks, had literal bear sex in it, right? You can have crazy things in a game. You can have egregious things in a game and still make a great game. You look at Avowed. Avowed is crap, right? Because Skyrim did it over a decade ago better, okay? And let's face facts here. Right here, right now, Sucker Punch is getting sucker punched, and they are reeling from it because actions speak louder than words. And Jose, do you want 6 kids with your girlfriend? Take the Common Nerd's advice to go far with the rising star on his creator journey. Common Nerd, what do you make of all this? And then we'll move on to future plans.
Well, I mean, it's one of those situations where when I started to see a lot of the activism pop up in gaming, and when I started doing some of the first videos about this, I said early on, I thought that gaming would have to turn around, would turn around faster than Hollywood, right? Because Hollywood's very insulated, right? They've got a lot of backers, they've got a lot of financiers, they've got a lot of investors, right? They're all under major conglomerates, like Disney owns like 17 different studios, right? That's different with gaming. Gaming's not like that. Now, given they've tried to do that over the last few years with companies like Microsoft and Sony to try to gobble up some of these smaller studios, but for the most part, a lot of these games are still made by quote unquote independent studios. They get distributed by somebody else, right? And essentially that's the company's way of going, hey, you know what? If this thing screws up, you all are fired. It doesn't really affect our bottom line, right? That's one of the reasons why you do stuff like that. You farm things out like that. And so that's what they've done. And that's how the industry has been built. And so you work on it because it's not like movies, studios, right? Where you've got 2 or 3, 5, 10, 15 projects all being greenlit and all being worked out at the same time. Same thing with your television shows and stuff like that. Most video game studios, because of the massive amount of work that goes into making a video game, traditionally, you working on one project and one project alone. And all of your resources and all of your money for the past 5, in some cases 10 years, have been dumped into this one game. If that one game fails, you're toast. Your whole studio's toast, right? And we saw some early examples of this. The guys who tried to make the Saints Row reboot, right? Activists all over the place talked about DEI, yada, yada, yada. That's what they were going to make the game into, right? Well, not only did they do all of that, but what also followed through with that? The game was a broken and buggy mess, right? Because when you hire people based on identity politics and not actual merit or, God forbid, talent, right? You end up with this kind of nonsense. You end up with the people that, all we have to do is put activism in it and everybody will love it and it'll be fabulous. And you end up with broken and buggy messes.
Yeah, took the features out, took the jiggle physics.
Right. All of that all of the fun stuff that made the Saints Row games so much fun, right? And so they ruined all of that. And so the studio collapsed. And we've seen this happen over and over and over again. Concord, somebody else brought that up earlier, right? What happened to that studio? It's gone. It don't exist no more. And it's the same thing. We just saw Ubisoft, right? A titan of the video game industry for 20 years since the first Assassin's Creed game really put them on the map, right? For general audiences out there, gone, right? They're owned by China now. Despite all their, everything's fine, right? EA, right? The home for sports video games, right? They're the reason why fucking, one of the only football game I ever liked, Blitz, got screwed over because Madden and EA worked out this deal with the NFL that they were the only ones they got to use the name, likenesses, and brands. So that just screwed Blitz over and killed that game. And now Madden's the only football game you can actually play anymore, right? That company, who are they owned by now? The Saudis. 98% of that company is owned either by directly the Saudis or one of the other Middle Eastern investment funds, which get most of their monies from the Saudis. And Jared Kushner, right? Trump's son. Okay? That's EA. Electronic Arts is now owned by those people now, okay? So the AAA gaming studio did all of this to themselves, and it's hiring little psychopathic activists like this fat chick here who's stuffing her mouth full of food, like you said, eating her feelings away because she knows she ain't gonna win shit. Her game's been flopped, and now the CEO of Sucker Punch, which I loved the Infamous franchise, okay? Infamous 1 and 2 were fabulous. The third one completely changed the model of the game, tried to reinvent the style of play and everything else. And guess what? I could not tell you how I played through both endings of Infamous 1 and 2 because I loved that. I would go back in there and just wander around because it was like Spider-Man, except I had electric powers and shit, right? The way the open world was all set up and everything else. I think I made it through the first 2, levels, portions, segments of Infamous 3 and never touched it again, right? Yeah. So that was my last Sucker Punch game that I even actually played because they put such a bad taste in my mouth with what they did with Infamous 3. So it's hey, I've been rooting for this since Infamous 3. Woohoo! It finally happened, but it took a little longer than I'd hoped, but they also hadn't gone down the full-blown activism. But you started to see it in the Infamous franchise all the way back then. Because guess what? And as a Mexican, whatever. But literally, what was the protagonist for Infamous 3? Infamous 1 and 2 was a white guy. Infamous 3 was as Hispanic or Indian or some shit like that, whatever he is. He looked like some of my cousins.
Voiced by a white guy.
Yeah, but so it's so literally we saw these signs from Sucker Punch a decade ago. Yeah. And it took a while, but now it's here. Now it's come to fruition, and you see this affecting the entire AAA gaming studio. Like you guys brought up earlier, Expedition 33 just literally embarrassed the entire AAA gaming industry with a game that cost them less than $10 million and had 33 people working for them. Okay? So yeah, guess what? Enjoy the activism. Go woke, bro. Exists for a reason. And fans decide what succeeds and what fails. Not whatever that bitch's name that's the face of Ghost of Yotai that won't be ghosted no forgotten anymore. So yeah, bye.
Killed
Don't let the door hit you with a good Lord split you.
Killed a potentially like great Sony franchise by just
yeah,
after the first game.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing, Dash. Sucker Punch has a history of 1-2 kill it. 1-2 kill it. 1-2 kill it.
And this time it was just one kill it.
But this is something that Sony has struggled with, is bringing out great franchises, or, you know, putting great franchises by the wayside. They had something hot in Ghost of Tsushima. Even the normies were out here picking up, like, I love this game, this samurai stuff. Oh, it's my jam, et cetera, et cetera. All you got to do was make a sequel that was just as good as the original. Instead, they decided, oh, well, we'll make it a female, you know, and they did the Kathleen Kennedy South Park meme. You know, make her lame and gay. Make her lame and gay. Well, you know what? South Park wasn't just making a joke when they put that out there. They were putting out a warning. Don't do this. And they did it anyway. They're like, well, I'm going to do it even harder. And, you know, she came out here, I'm Antifa and blah, 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 thinking that was going to sell copies. That makes people run away from your game because they see the activism and they go, oh, even if you don't have that activism specifically in the game, the minute you open your mouth, people just tune out. It's the same way that I see Mark Ruffalo in a movie and I'm like, nope. Nope.
Yeah, Jace, think of it this way. Like, you know, they could have, like, you know, you have the option to use the Japanese audio for the game. And, but like they body scanned her face. She was literally the face of the game.
Look, and that's the problem. That is a big part of the problem. It's the same reason why, like, when I'm playing a video game, I don't want to look at Deborah Wilson and everything because it's immersion breaking. It's not because I'm trying to be mean to Deborah Wilson, even though she does kind of look like Abe from Oddworld in the face. It's because of the fact it breaks the immersion.
I did a video that this game was like basically like made as like almost like a favor to her. Because like, you know, think of like she was in Critical Role. She's friends with Matt fucking Mercer, like one of the most influential voice actors in the industry.
Oh, yeah. Those guys went off the activism deep end a long time ago.
Look, my friend who's unfortunately now dead, my bounty hunter friend who passed away that Digni has seen some videos of, you know what? He was, you know, good at, you know, roughing people up. But if I wouldn't put him in charge of coding a video game. You know, you have to sometimes put your friendships aside when it comes to business and say, hey, this person isn't the right fit for this job. I don't give a damn that you're my buddy. We can still go out. We could have beers. We could be friends. We could do whatever. We'll have dinner. That's fine. Stay the hell away from my work because you're going to ruin my job. You know,
I don't. And the same applies the other way around. He's not going to knock on your door and say, let's hunt some bounties together, is he?
He actually has, but he did give me a bulletproof vest that time.
Oh,
so.
yeah.
Them crazy bastards think everybody should come along.
Yeah, Jose's unfortunately dead black bounty hunter friend will make great inspiration for a network character who is a black bounty hunter who wants to. It's basically a ripoff of the Mandalorian. We make him black, but we don't make him. We don't make him have a bleeding heart for a child. So there you go, which is typical among their people. But on that note, ladies and gentlemen, it's not a lie. It's the truth. They get the job done or they die trying. Just look at Jose's friend. All right, then. Future plans, ladies and gentlemen. We have gone over 2 hours. I do apologize for that. But we're not doing a show a day anymore. We're doing a show a week. 2 hours. For goodness sake, pen work. 2 hours, 13 minutes, and 20 seconds. If you haven't already, folks, like the stream, share the stream. When we get monetized, donations are always welcome. We're going to start off with Dash Attack for future plans. What you up to, Dash?
All right. I'm probably going to stream some more tonight. I'm going to be finishing up some side quests in that Digimon game and possibly challenging the final boss. We're very close to the end. It's just taking a really damn long time. But other than that, Yeah, we got Abomination AJ on my network show Friday, and Desbro may be becoming a potential permanent panelist for
semi-regular. Yeah,
semi-regular.
Yeah, you can't make every week, unfortunately.
Oh, that's
but
a shame.
I will point out to Des on Friday that apparently YouTube's Inspiration AI calls him the Netanyahu of pop culture content creators.
Well,
I should have saved that. I regret not doing so, but it's in this show, so I'll be able to clip it.
We need a picture of the dignified cartoon gentleman putting his hand on a wall with Decembro's logo on it. That's what we need. We need him praying at the Decembro wall.
Indeed. But we appreciate everyone for being here. And Dash, good luck with your date tonight, okay? What about you? Yeah, your date that you told me about before today's show. Triton, what are your future plans?
Well, so I got a lot coming up, and so tonight we'll be covering Trump's, Trump trying to declare war on Venezuela on the show. And also January, we are planning to do a March for America protest where we will be marching from Florida all the way to DC. I'm in contact with a lot of organizers to help set this up, because we're trying to protest for, America first, and not just that, but also for Trump to pay the National Guard and basically for him to stop fighting Israel's wars and to fix America's problems, because America has a lot of problems, and we're working with and I'm making a document tonight to basically demonstrate all American problems.
I'll tell you this, Triton. Will it be taking 6 days to go from Florida to Washington, D.C.?
Probably, but I'm willing to fight for those 6 days. I'm willing to actually put in the work. I don't care how long it takes. We're going to make sure that we get to DC. Once we start, there's no giving up.
You start in Florida on January 1st, and you arrive in Washington, D.C. on January 6th.
Oh, God.
Oh, no.
I look forward.
240 teams, someone that's helping me set up the protest, he said it's probably going to be way more, but I'm willing to fight the way more. I'm willing to, I don't care how long it takes. As long as we make it to D.C. and Trump acknowledges us and Trump actually fixes his shit and stop being a piece of shit, then yeah. Trump just needs to hear us out and stop, forwarding and make America great again.
It seems Dan is lobbying for this to be part of your future plans, and we appreciate that, right? It's
I was gonna tell it anyways, but yeah, Dan's been really Dan's really invested in it. I am too, and so are a lot of other people. And in fact, if people want to join in the protest and actually come to Florida to march with us to DC, just contact me and I'll make sure you guys are on the petition.
Yes, and we can call your march the March into the Valley of Death with Lord Triton. That's what we can call it. Something courageous to really inspire confidence. Okay, live from Mandamiville.
Great thumbnail.
It would. Live from Mandamiville, DJ Ronnie G. What are your future plans, my good man?
Yeah, we can't hear. He's muted again.
I do that so that the helicopters after me. Jokes aside, tomorrow I'm gonna have a drawing contest with my main clanker Reggie over here, and you can see here I drew a picture from a scene in the movie Godzilla -1, an A6M0 fighter plane, and that's my sketch. And I said, Reggie, let's compete, and this is what he came up with. So reason I'm doing that is if I want to skim through the movie and briefly describe any given scene, I can't, show the movie. I might be able to show screenshots, but if I really want to cover my buttocks, if I do this, now I'm showing people, we're doing multiple things. We're showing a scene from the movie while talking about it. Not every scene, but and I don't know, just a fun idea. But beyond that, I'm going to play Dark Souls tomorrow, yeah. And that's basically it. The Monday show on a Thursday. For anyone, it's on a Thursday, but it's the Monday show. And I usually start around 11 p.m. Eastern time, but then if I'm late because of dinner, I might start at 12. So, if it's after 12, it'll say the Monday show on Thursday on Friday, but don't let that confuse you. Just, if you find me and you like what you see, have fun.
Well,
that's what we do. We have fun. But yeah, back to you, Ryan. Thanks, man.
Well, I will say I don't know who this Ryan is because Legion isn't here. I really have to catch up with him sometime.
I miss that guy, yeah.
Yeah, this is what happens when you live under socialism, folks. You forget people's names because no one has a name. Everyone has a number.
I'm
What
number
about
35621115.
Oh my goodness. Mine's ISRAEL. What about you, Jose? What are your future plans?
Well, just got back from work and lifting a heavy printer up a flight of stairs. So I'm going to lather myself in biofreeze before getting some dinner, and then I'll be back to doing some gaming on the Cancelous Podcast Rumble channel tonight. We're going to be doing a little Final Fantasy 14 because the game got DDoSed multiple times yesterday, so I didn't get finished with all the stuff I was doing in that game. Yes, there's been course correction at Square Enix, even an admission that Wuklamat screwed everything up in game, which I found absolutely hilarious.
Oh, you're gonna have to tell me that in DMs.
Yes. Yeah, no, I actually posted the picture public if you want to see it on X.
I'll check
a screenshot where in game they blame Wuklamat for all the problems essentially.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Dash.
So,
Dash, you shouldn't be rushing into men's DMs when you've got to get date tonight, okay?
Oh, boy.
I do not have with who? With Damien? No, he's not come.
And I'll also be playing a little Octopath Zero after that because I've been enjoying that game. Had a little nice back and forth on X with Endymion, who also seems to be enjoying it. Who was a guest on the show with Dash last week.
Yeah.
You know, and it's an excellent game. I'm really enjoying that as well. Tomorrow night is Cancel This Podcast, 11:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where politics meets pop culture with snark, sarcasm, and satire, uncensored, unfiltered, unapologetic, over on Rumble. Will be myself, John, and Digni, where someone has already asked me to ask John and Digni where the Israel money at and why they're holding out on me, claiming that their noses have gotten larger. I don't know how a cartoon's nose gets large. He doesn't have a nose, but
I literally broke off my own nose to save myself from Israel.
We will be covering it, and we are on Rumble as we are too crude for YouTube. If I even had this show on here for about 5 minutes, YouTube would immediately eat me off of the platform. So I figure might as well save him the trouble. Don't give him the satisfaction. So we are over on Rumble.
It's great to see the Heretic Prince, or as I like to call him, Heretic Prime or Hectic Prince, but for some reason. It's good to see you. And yeah, I do find it interesting. Maybe we should coalesce the Cancel This Podcast Facebook community with Lord Triton's crazy crew and then say we are shills of the Jews. Yeah. How about we do that? But no, in all seriousness, Thursday's show is going to be very exciting. It'll probably be 4 hours long. And,
I'm going to dip out right now. So
yeah, it's all right. That's all right. Dash is very busy. You know, the date I was talking about.
Fuck you.
But Tom and Nerd, what are your future plans?
Yes, boys and girls, come go check me out over there. We're almost 2,500 subscribers over on the new YouTube channel, almost 1,500 over on Rumble as well. I dropped a video this morning over Disney canceling the all-female Holes remake as reboot that they were going to do. And then I'll have a couple more videos coming out this evening. There's some more leaked Doomsday trailers and stuff like that. But yes, I live stream 6 days a week, weekdays at 11 a.m. for the morning prep, where your pop culture and nerd news show. And then Thursday nights are Firefly, where you guys can come watch. I do a watch party and watch along with Firefly and a few guests over there. We've got Sunker Maiden and a couple others. Mrs. Common Nerd normally shows up for that one. On the weekends, Friday and Saturday nights, we've been playing, Mrs. Common Nerd and I've been playing some video games together. We've been playing a Gauntlet, which has been a lot of fun. Saturday night, we got Comic Shop Talk. Sunday, we got Bible Study, 2 p.m. And then Sunday night, we got Classic Who as well. And we're doing a big membership push over on our channel right now because, like Digni talked about earlier, this is my full-time job. We've been doing that for the last 3 years, and the last couple of months have been the first time we've ever come up short on very important things. I'll just leave it at that for right now. But we're trying to get to 100 members. It's $5 or less a month. Depending on what platform you guys decide on, join the Nerd Herd. Come become a member over there. If we get to 100, I'll be able to keep coming back to Digni's show and keep doing what I do over there 7 days a week, and also work on one of my projects that I've got going on in the background now that I spent 12 hours working on yesterday. And if you become a member of my channel over on YouTube, you will get to see one of the first images from the project that me and a friend of mine are currently working on right now. So it's not just me granting and raving about everybody and complaining about everybody else's stories. We also are creating our own as well, because that's always the alternative pushed for, and now we actually have the ability to do that. A friend of mine are working on some stuff like that. So please come become a member of the channel and all of that kind of fun stuff to keep our lights on around. And other than that, this is a blast. I love hanging out with you guys. And boy, what some fun conversations today. Some rabbit holes I didn't think we were going to go down. But shout out to YouTube for hating Bibi Netanyahu. So yeah, there you go.
It's at the end of the day, folks. It's all YouTube's fault, and I think we should support Benjamin Netanyahu in declaring a holy war on YouTube because they deserve it. Okay.
Jew.
See, look. YouTube encourages this behavior. It's ridiculous.
I've been encouraged by YouTube to tell the truth on Israel.
See, look. You are dangerous to our democracy, Triton. But in all seriousness,
Triton, me mum was turned into shoes.
Oh dear, and laces too. But my future plans, folks, because tomorrow I'm going to be on 2 shows. Our Thursday show with the 40K Empress is no longer possible because of how busy she has gotten. But I am planning on doing a Sunday show on this channel with Hard Lens Media and Legion. That'll be at 7 p.m. UK, 2 p.m. Eastern, and then after that show, hopefully they can both make it. If not, then I can just get an early night, and it'll be fine by me either way. But then after that, I'll get some shut eye and then be on Jose's show with Alki John, and we'll have a whale of a time. We'll probably complain about Candace some more.
Yeah, breaking news. She's with your favorite buddy Pierce right now, I guess, or earlier today.
Fuck's sake. Like, guys, if you didn't know this, I've said it the upteenth time. Piers Morgan, his reputation in America exists solely because he left the UK because he hacked a dead girl's phone to get a news story.
Yeah.
That's how he became friends with Donald Trump. That's how he joined CNN. His entire reputation in America solely exists because he left the UK as a result of hacking a dead girl's phone. I have been the dignified cartoon gentleman. This has been System Crash episode 4. Thank you all very much for watching. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, and no other degenerate groups. Bye for now, folks.
Bye.